Welcome to Nimmin Live, the #1 place on the internet to learn about YouTube, network with other content creators, and have an awesome time doing it. My name is Nick, and today we are going to be answering your YouTube questions. And when I say we, I mean myself and my brother from the same mother, D.
What is going on? I'm ready to go.
Ready to go? Ready to rock and roll today?
Ready to rock and roll. Ready
me
to
too.
answer your YouTube questions.
A lot of them. I hope we get a lot of them today. I hope we can get through a bunch.
Chronological order, by the way. This is first come, first served. There's a link in the description below.
Unless you have a really good question, then we'll pull it out of the comments.
Yeah.
But it's got to be something really good, something really unique. Then we'll just pull it directly out of there.
And I just noticed we're having a technical difficulty. This keeps
it's okay.
expanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, live happens, ladies and gentlemen.
Man, this is how it goes. This is how it goes.
Yep. If it happens to us, it can happen to you.
That's right. Hey, I do want to let you know that if this is your first time here, if you're watching this on the replay, we have timestamps that we add to this live stream. And the reason that we do that is because we know that, some questions that people ask during the stream, because it's all organic. So we don't know the questions that are going to be asked. So because of that, we add these timestamps so that you can just hop to the questions that matter most to you. So because of that, if you are watching this on the replay, you can just sit back and listen to this all in the background or watch it in the background if you like. Or you can just jump straight to the questions that you want answers to, and you can see them listed out in the description of this content right now. I also want to let everybody know that this stream is brought to you by, let me find the graphics here, by TubeBuddy, which is the #1 tool for YouTube content creators. TubeBuddy will help you optimize your videos for discovery. TubeBuddy will help you make thumbnails that are effective for the people that you're trying to reach. TubeBuddy has a bunch of AI tools that they have available now for creators where they help you identify peak areas in your content that you can make YouTube shorts from, and other features as well. But over 90 different tools that will help you with your YouTube channel. You can try it out for yourself at tubebuddy.com/Nimmin. And of course, I've got a link to that down in the description. And this stream is co-brought to you by StreamYard, which is being covered up by a comment right now.
That's what they deserve for not sending us coasters.
For the coasters, yeah.
Oh, I brought a coaster.
So StreamYard is the live streaming platform that we use to stream this every single Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. And the reason that we use StreamYard is because it's easy. They hold the stream open for us in the cloud. So in the event that the stream goes down or we have a technical problem, keeps everything open for us so we don't lose everybody that's hanging out, and we can just come back in on our phones while we're getting everything reset. In addition to that, they make it easy to add graphics to the screen. Like you can see, if you're looking at the screen right now, you can see the different graphics, that I'm kind of switching between. But in addition to that, it's super easy to bring on guests, add background music, add graphics, and this one, I personally believe is a really important feature. They also record your streams in the background for you, so you don't have to worry about, external recordings and stuff if you don't want to. You can just pull your live stream replays directly down out of StreamYard without having YouTube or Facebook compression added to them. So that's a really cool feature, and you can record directly into it as well, which is a pretty cool thing. But you can try that at StreamYard.com, or I've got a link to that down in the description as well.
Look at this. Every time it loops, it resizes.
It resizes. Oh, that's interesting.
This is really weird. This is never, I swear this is the first time this has happened. It's never happened before.
It's
so bizarre. So I just want to let you know, #1, how much did they pay you to say that at StreamYard? And #2, because StreamYard did not give us a coaster yet, I brought a coaster. And I'm
Is it a StreamYard coaster?
It is not. It is better than a StreamYard coaster.
What is it?
And if you're asking what could be better than a StreamYard coaster, I'm going to put this in front of the camera and let everybody know what is better than a StreamYard coaster.
What is it?
It is a Gene Simmons Kiss coaster.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, with as aggressive as they are about their copyright stuff, I'm afraid to even show that on stream, if I'm honest.
Okay, listen, Gene, if you're watching this, I met you
Call me. No,
Gene, listen, I met you one time at the NAMM convention. We walked together. We talked for 15 minutes. You were really cool. True story. We took pictures with our tongues sticking out, and Gene Simmons is such a gentleman, he let my tongue be longer than his in the photo.
What a gentleman.
What a gentleman. And true story, when I was moving, I put some boxes in a storage bin, and I was late on a payment, and I lost everything in a storage bin.
Oh, no.
And that's one of the photos.
Oh,
so,
man.
Gene, if you're watching, don't be aggressive on this, please. Huge fan since I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put a duck on your awesome picture. I hope it's not. Oh, it doesn't even fit.
Doesn't fit, because that mug is so huge. Because it's such a big, good mug.
Hold on.
iPhone Chris, thank you for 9 months of channel membership there. Roger Wakefield in the house. What's up, dude? Hope that you are doing fantastic. He said that he's meeting with the TubeBuddy advisory board this week. That's fantastic to see as well. Really looking forward to hanging out with you at VidSummit, Roger. Looking forward to seeing you over there. And just a heads up, for those of you that don't know what VidSummit is a conference. It happens in October 3rd through the 5th. It's for YouTube content creators. Mr. Beast is there. Mark Rober's there, Ryan Trahan's there, Zach King is there, like all kinds of, content creators are there, myself as well. And basically everybody just shares what it is that they know about YouTube and gives you just tips from their experience and the data that they have and all of that on how to grow your audience. But you can find out more about that in the description as well.
I mean, look
super
at the
looking forward to that.
Size of this thing. And then I didn't even realize that this is bigger. What?
That's a testament to how glorious that mug is.
So, Gene, we're going to set you here anyway. I'm just going to look at
you
just
for some love there for Gene Simmons.
Just because I want to rock and roll all night and party every day.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Amen to that. Yeah, totally.
Okay,
so the very first question that we have here on the list today is from Blue Harvest Toys. Blue Harvest Toys does daily content. They do vintage toys and nostalgia. The goal of the channel is toy-related news and histories. They love talking about toys. Really quick, Blue Harvest Toys, are you still in the chat here today? Just out of curiosity, I'm just curious if you're still here or if you just swung by, dropped that, and then split. But I'm just wanting to check here really quick because I actually have some very specific advice for you because I looked at your channel actually because this one, when I opened up the form, this question was in here. So I went and looked at your channel. So I was going to give you some very specific advice if I happen to see your name pop up here. But the question is, I'd like to know why I'm not getting the views that I see other people getting. I've been reading everything that I can to improve. I believe I've got good content. I've even learned things like uploading with a good file name, but willing to learn more. So first off, anytime you run across a content creator telling you that you need to name your file, the actual file that you export out of your editing software, the same exact thing as you are trying to optimize your videos for, you should just run the other direction. The reason for that is that type of tip is ancient. In regards to YouTube, and the name that you name your video file has no impact, or your thumbnail has no impact at all. When you upload your videos to YouTube, you can actually see this if you go and you just look at the web page source code there. When you upload your videos to YouTube, they give your files custom names, custom numbers, and all of that. And what you had it as, all of that gets kind of stripped away when they're doing that. So that particular tip is definitely not something that you should follow.
That's old school.
Yeah, super old school. But one thing that I do want to let you know, what? I actually don't see him here in the chat, so I actually won't even. I'm not even going to keep going. Yeah,
I like hit and run questions.
Yeah.
Hey, answer the question for me.
I'm not going to answer it. Yeah.
Yeah, answer the question for me, but I'm not going to hang out.
Yeah, I'm not going to be here for the answer.
I'm not going to be here for the answers. I can come back next week and ask the same thing again and say, why are you ignoring my question?
Yep. So here we go. Next question that we have here on the list is Us Plus Dad. Us Plus Dad. They do daily content. They have a gaming channel. The goal of the channel is to build a interactive Roblox community and someday be monetized. And the question is, we upload daily, and we used to be able to release shorts during times when YouTube said we had more viewers on. Then we noticed it was 6 hours exactly after we published the video that we would get pushed, so we started publishing 6 hours before a perfect time. Now it seems to be really random. Posted a short yesterday morning, for instance, was a 1 out of 10 going into the 6 hour mark, and currently it's a 10 out of 10. It's still getting views with 440, but never got more than 38 in an hour. It has 78% view to 22% swipe, and likes are roughly at 8%. Any idea why our shorts are suddenly doing this? The shorts yesterday, I don't know. So basically, the default thing on YouTube that you always have to remember when you're publishing anything is, first off, the initial response that you get on something usually is not direct reflection of the long-term response that you're going to get off of that. Shorts are a little bit more finicky, when it comes to that. But when it comes to long-form content, I actually just posted a short about this yesterday on another channel. But when it comes to that 1 out of 10 spot that a lot of people obsess over in their YouTube videos, one thing to always remember is that, let's say that you go into low effort mode and you put out 10 different videos. Well, the next video that you put out, if you're in high effort mode and it's something that your audience typically responds to anyway, and you put that out, then if it goes to that number 1 spot, it's not a surprise, not a big deal, whatever, it makes you feel good. But, at the same time, when you see that 9 out of 10, you're it makes you kind of feel like garbage. What I would like to encourage you to do is to stop looking at that altogether. Keep it in mind if you want to, but stop looking at it all together and instead start kind of checking back in, a little bit later with your videos. And the reason that I'm saying that is because, that first 1 out of 10 or 10 out of 10, it doesn't mean that it's still going to be that way 3 months from now. It doesn't mean that it's going to be that way 6 months from now, right? When you're publishing content to YouTube, and it doesn't matter what it is, if it's a live stream, if it is a piece of video content, if it's a short, look at it like you're planting seeds, right? Okay, I'm putting this video out here, I'm putting this short out here, or this is a seed. I'm going to let it grow on YouTube. And as the system learns more about my audience, and as my content, can compete or not, then, that's when, I'll be able to expect more consistent views coming in on my video and just kind of step away from that, 1 out of 10 thing. Because, for example, another place this can work against you is, let's say that you just had, 9 videos that you put out that were amazing. And then you put out, the most recent one. It's also amazing, but for whatever reason, because of something that's happening in that day in the news, or because of something that's happening, just seasonally, or, something like that, the video seemingly doesn't, do that great out of the gate. But then you check back in a week later and it's like, oh, wow, this video is actually like rocking. People are really liking this. So because of that, I would just kind of try to like look at the thing, because, it's just natural to look at it and just kind of see how it's doing. But don't get like worried or like stressed out about that, because I've had plenty of videos that I put out just as an example on my channel where like it'll start out as a 10 and then over the next like handful of months or whatever, it'll jump to like a number 2 or something like that, or in some cases number 1. So because of that, just make sure you are keeping that in mind. But when it comes to like when you publish your videos, it is best to publish when your viewers are online. And the reason for that is because it just gets that information to YouTube faster, right? So it's like, okay, if I publish when people are online, then, my video is going to be more likely to go in front of people that are on the platform right now that are the most likely to enjoy my content. With your short stalling out for like a 6 hour period to where you could take it down to the minute and actually, identify that was happening with all of your shorts. That's a very interesting thing. And I have no, information or anything about that, or why, they did that, or, it could have just been something in the system. Could have been, a huge influx of shorts going in at that time. It could have been a gajillion, things. And I really don't know, where to kind of lead you on that particular issue. Next up, we've got, hey, love that flash in your pan. Absolutely love it. Saying wearing his Nimmin shirt right now. Absolutely love it.
Representing. Love it.
So let's see here. So next up, we've got, and if you're just joining us, I'm pulling these questions from the forum that is down in the description below. So if you have a question, make sure you get it down there. Because I'm answering these in the order that they're received. And we've still got a lot of space in here to get your question answered on the stream today. So T-Lean's Visual. They've been on YouTube for 1 year or more. The type of channel is photography education. Oh, that's cool. The goal of the channel says I want to get more people to see my video and to learn from it. The question is, what can I improve about my video titles and thumbnails to get more people to click and watch? So I'm not going to pull your channel up, but one thing that I can tell you is to just to run through the exercise of, okay, first, am I trying to get, the most attention from YouTube's recommendation features, or am I trying to get attention from YouTube search? If you're trying to get YouTube search, then in that case, since you're doing photography education channel, that's where you're essentially making content that solves people's problems. When you are trying to get recommendation traffic, then in that particular case, you'll still get recommendation traffic from the search targeted stuff, but when you're trying to get more recommendation traffic, the other side of that is that, maybe you would talk about, more photography concepts, or talk about, things that, people are doing wrong when it comes to photography, and just things like that, that would be more likely to garner a response from a homepage compared to just like a simple how-to, right? So, making sure that you're thinking about that first when you're coming at the ideation stage of the video in terms of where you're wanting to get the views from for that. But then start thinking as part of the next step, okay, if I'm trying to get views from YouTube search, the very first thing I should do to make better titles and thumbnails is go see who I'm competing with there, and then try to find a way to make mine stand out compared to everybody else that I'm looking at in the particular results that I'm trying to rank for. In addition to that, looking and watching the videos before you even make yours that you're competing against, so you can look for any problems that they didn't mention, or you can look in their comments to look for feedback of things that they didn't mention, or confusion that happened from the video that they watched, and see if you can patch those things up on the way in to create a better experience for people. That's search. And then when it comes to home pages, think to yourself, okay, well, if I'm trying to write better titles and thumbnails, the real goal, especially with your type of content, is I need to help people be able to identify that it's educational content around photography. So because of that, putting images in your thumbnail and just designing your whole entire thumbnail to focus on one specific thing that will help people that are into photography or learning photography, since you're doing photography education, help them identify that your content is about something that they are interested in, or about something that will help them out. So using cameras, camera lenses, things like that as part of that to grab their attention is definitely something that I would make sure to do. And then when it comes to titles, of course also default back to, you know, where it is that you're trying to get the attention from on YouTube in terms of the traffic source. So for example, if you're going for YouTube search, then in that case, you might optimize the whole video, you know, title, description, topic, everything around a particular search term or phrase. Or you might be able to combine a few in there, you know, if you spend some time workshopping the title. But when it comes to, you know, home pages, it's a totally different thing, because there people are logging onto YouTube and they're not expecting to watch your content, right? So they're just expecting to hop on and just watch something. So because of that, you're competing with everything that YouTube is recommending to them. So you have to be a little bit more compelling when it comes to home pages. And when you are targeting recommendations, it's also advantageous to try to think more broad audience with how you're packaging things up versus like extremely narrow. Because if your content's going to be getting shown to a lot more people, it makes more sense to optimize everything for that larger group of people in that particular case.
So we have a question. We have a question out of my chat.
Okay.
From my Z, and I apologize if it's May. It could be May, it could be my. I'm not sure. It's a spelling.
All right.
The question is, does the algorithm depend on your title of the videos to get more views?
It depends on how people respond to your videos. So one thing that, and just a heads up, like YouTube has documentation on all this stuff. I share links to it like all the time and live streams and, you know, video descriptions and stuff. But basically how all of that works is when you upload a video to YouTube, their system is basically looking at all of the images, you know, in the actual video itself. They're looking at the actual video. Another thing that they're doing is they are also, they're paying attention, or the system is recording exactly what it is that you're saying, or whoever it is that's saying it is saying, you know, whatever it is that they're saying in your actual video. And then it's also looking at your title and it's looking at your description, and it's taking all of that information to get a general idea of what your video is about. And then from that information, that's where it decides who it's going to show the content to or who it's going to test it against. So because of that, it's advantageous. I actually shared this on Twitter not too long ago. One thing that YouTube says in their documentation in the Google Help pages, I believe it is, where I grabbed those screenshots, is that you want to make sure that you are, you know, using some type of, you know, keyword or keyword phrase in your titles when possible in order to kind of help that along. Basically, because your description, more importantly, well, I won't say more importantly, but your description also is taken into account. So for example, if you write like a paragraph or two, which is YouTube's recommendation, if you write a paragraph or two about your video, then in that particular case, the system's also looking at that. So you got to make sure that you're filling that out and that you're not just thinking about it through the lens of like, okay, I'm going to have people reading this, which you are, and you need to write it for the people, but you also need to think like, okay, am I putting the right language in here, the right words in order to, you know, just help the system have a better context of what it is that this video might be about. So it can use it for its, you know, data source essentially to just have a better understanding of what the video is about so that it can help fine tune who's going to see it. And then with the title, it's the same thing. Now with the title, you can go kind of crazy and be like, I can't believe this happened, if you wanted to. And then, you know, we'll pull the context from everything else. But if you can add very specific, you know, language to your title as well about, you know, what the video is about or, you know, who it is that you're targeting. So for example, if you're like, you know, cooking tips for single dads, then in that particular case, you know, that's one more layer of clarity that you can add in terms of who it is that, you know, that should be, you know, interacting with that content. Yeah, hopefully it helps.
Can I add to that? Yeah, so think of the algorithm as the audience. Think of the algorithm as the audience. And what YouTube is trying to do is YouTube is trying to predict, right? The algorithms here are trying to predict what the audience wants to watch next. So when you're uploading a video and your channel's small and you're struggling to build that momentum, the more information that you can give YouTube about your video, that's going to help YouTube identify the right people for your video to make sure that there's a match there, right? So if you're just uploading videos with no description or you're just talking crazy stuff in your description that has nothing to do with video, your title has nothing to do with the video, and maybe there's no focus of the video, YouTube might struggle to figure out, or YouTube might struggle to think about who might want to watch this video. So keep in mind, they're trying to predict what the viewer wants to watch next. And this is really important to do things like trying to get them to drive them into like a watch time trap, right? Trying to get them to watch additional videos. Take advantage of the pinned comments, the end screens, the cards, build playlists out so viewers can binge watch your content, because YouTube will take in consideration when viewers start to get your videos in their watch history, that's a positive identifier for YouTube that says, hey, this viewer likes this type of content, likes this channel, and it increases the likelihood that your content...
If they enjoy the content.
If they enjoy the content, right. If they're enjoying the content, that they might show your content to them in the future. So it all matters.
Yeah, everything matters. Yeah, everything matters.
Yeah.
So Her Hill Review says they upload 1 time per week or more. They do movie and TV reviews and recaps. The goal of the channel is trying to get a dedicated community of 1,000. And the question is there any software that you know of where you could specify the audience demographic we want and find out what they are looking at on YouTube? So one thing that YouTube does, and this is a little bit backwards, but it can, kind of send you in the right direction, is they will show you other videos that your viewers are watching on YouTube. And it's not just videos like within your niche. They show you just like other videos that people are watching, that like you have a lot of crossover with. So because of that, I would definitely look in that. You can find that in your analytics.
Yeah, really quick, because this is a great comment in the chat here. So try to reverse engineer everything that you're doing. If you have a question about what should I be doing? What type of title should I be writing? What type of thumbnail should I make? What type of video should I be making? Pause for a second, and instead of thinking like a creator at that time, start thinking like a viewer and think, what would I be interested in? What type of thumbnails would I click on? What type of titles would get my attention? And start paying attention and be very mindful of the things that you're clicking on and the things that you're watching and the things that hold your interest and the things that make you click away, right? And start taking notes of those things and look at other channels in your niche and find the ones that are succeeding and see what they're doing.
Yep. Yeah, and right here, you pinned this one, says, Mr. B said replace algorithm with audience. What does the audience want? Totally.
Right.
And, and it's people watching your videos, like it's not bots. So like all of the information that you see in your analytics, like that's all from people. So when you are looking at that, like it's easy to look at it and be like, oh yeah, these are just like, numbers and graphs and all that. But, at the end of the day, it's people and how they're responding to everything that you're doing. So if everything is low and people aren't making it far and things like that, you have to do what Dee was talking about in terms of looking at it through the eye of a viewer and saying like, okay, why do I think that people are like leaving this video this early? Like, what do I think it is that that I could improve on here? That if I was watching it, where I'd be like, oh yeah, I definitely got to see this part. So for example, in my news segment that I did yesterday, which everybody should watch, by the way, huge news in terms of YouTube is going to be giving title recommendations.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, so they're going to be using AI to give title recommendations, but in that, and we'll talk about it here in a second, but in that particular video, I had a whole segment that I took out because I'm sitting there watching it and I'm like, I added this stuff to the video, but really it doesn't really add to, the conversation that's actually happening in the content in terms of keeping people up to date. And that particular part when I was watching it also just kind of like dulled out a little bit to where I'm watching it and I'm like, yeah, this is just kind of like, it just kind of falls apart here. So I'm like, okay, take it out. Right. So, you just have to, just when you're interacting with your own content in the editing process, like it's great to just sit back and try to look at it through the eyes of a viewer, and just doing that by itself can help you make better videos. What were we gonna say about the title suggestions?
Oh, I was going to say, do you want to talk about that for a second?
So just a heads up. So a few things. One, I didn't mention this in the news yesterday just because, I want that video to kind of, this is a temporary thing. But just a heads up for everybody here that's hanging out. YouTube this week, they did have a discrepancy in the subscriber count in the Creator Studio. They were working on it. It's probably fixed by now. I'm not sure yet, but just a heads up, that is something that they were aware of and that they're working on. Two, if you watch my news segment, which you should because it keeps you up to date with everything that matters to you as a creator, I put those out every Friday as long as there's news to talk about. But one of the things that we found out this week is that they are doing title suggestions using AI that's going to be rolling out to everybody over the next few weeks. And basically how that's going to work is as you are, as you're uploading your videos, Connor on the Creator Insider channel, he said it's going to take about 3 or 4 hours for their system to, and this is going to give you like a nice indication of like what YouTube thinks your videos are about too. So just make sure you're keeping that in mind. Dee and I were actually talking about this earlier in terms of a way to use this at like a higher level than just using it as a title suggestion tool. But basically, when it comes to the system, what it's going to do, according to the Creator Insider video, is they are going to be looking at your transcription of your video, because when you upload videos, how YouTube adds all the textual information there so they can present it as captions. So they're going to be looking at the transcript of the video, and they're going to be looking at the video description. So again, don't sleep on video descriptions. I've been telling everybody this for a long time, but it's going to look at those two things, and then it's going to suggest titles based on those. So in order for that to happen, you'll need to upload your video videos a little bit in advance so the system has time to, collect the information on it and then suggest titles to you based on that. And then from there, you're going to be able to say like, hey, this is a great match for what it is that I put out here. Or you can say like, hey, I like this particular idea, but I'm going to spin it, in my own way or whatever. But that particular feature by itself, in my opinion, is huge, D, because, like a lot of people, like titles is a really, really hard thing for people.
Titles are hard for most people at every stage.
Yeah, it's tough.
A lot of times, no matter what you think is a good understanding for a title, a lot of times you upload and you're like, yeah, I took a swing and I missed. I saw a video with Patty Galloway, and they were talking about like workshopping titles over days. Sure. Some of the creators, like over days. Sure. Right.
Yep.
I find that fascinating.
Yeah.
Really quick, I've got another question out of my chat. They want to know: do tags matter?
Use them until YouTube takes them away.
Right. So what YouTube?
But even if you're watching on Dee's channel, there's a link to the form down in the description of Dee's video as well.
Oh, there's a link in that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they can put them in the form there too.
I didn't know.
But yeah, tags. They're not that important anymore. They say YouTube says to just put like misspellings and things like that in there. But until they remove the box, just use it, right? Don't spend a bunch of time on it. Use TubeBuddy to just kind of take their recommendations, just put in whatever it is that, that you think applies to the video or is relevant to the video, and then just move on and get about your day. But don't spend a lot of time on it.
Super sticker.
iFun Chris, thank you for the super sticker. Super appreciated. Jabari's Fitness channel says that they upload 1 time per week or more. They do fitness for beginners and teens. The goal of the channel is to attract beginners and teens to my channel. I created this channel to provide useful fitness tips to help you become the better version of yourself. I'm dedicated to bringing you the best fitness, entertainment, and inspiration. So the question is, how can I rank and search more? I have 959 subscribers. Why are they not watching my videos? Should I change my thumbnails on my channel? So just as a heads up, when it comes to YouTube search, you compete in YouTube search just like you compete in home pages, just like you compete in suggested videos. So when it comes to YouTube search, you have to compete with the videos that are there. Keep in mind, sometimes when you publish your video, it might show up in search right away. Sometimes it might show up like a day or two later. Sometimes it won't show up at all, but it'll be in there and it'll be rising through the ranks, as people find it and interact with it there. So because of that, if you want your videos to do better in search, then people have to respond the best to your videos. So like the top results that you see in YouTube search, those results are based on the content that people respond to, people like you respond to the most for those particular terms. So what YouTube is going for there is they're going for watch time per impression, meaning that, when they show, or watch time per impression for the query. So basically what that means is if they show your video to somebody, that's an impression. So if I go in there and I type in, how to unclog a toilet, Roger Wakefield's video pops up there.
What are you trying to say?
Then Roger Wakefield's video pops up there. And when his video pops up there, if I'm like, yeah, this looks, great. I click on it, I watch it in its entirety. And I'm like, wow, this is great. I subscribe to the channel. Maybe I share it to my friend who also has a problem with his, commode. Then in that particular case, his video, if other people are reacting that same way, it's probably going to stay in that, top spot for a while if it's creating that great experience for people. So just keep that in mind. Like it sounds like an easy out in terms of like, why aren't I getting views? Well, you got to make better videos. But at the end of the day, that's really what it does come down to. Like on Reddit, there's a thread in there right now where people are talking about like YouTube help channels. And one of the things that one of the people said in there is like, they just give general advice. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, but they're like, they just give
us because of anus.
Right. They're like, they just give general advice, like make better videos. And it's like, yeah, well that's what you got to do. But we also talk about like, how do you make better videos? Well, you experiment with your hooks, you experiment with like each different part of the video. The guy that was the first question that we had today, I was actually going to give him very specific advice, but he just kind of did like a hit and skip. But yeah, like the rules are like when it comes to YouTube, if you want to take the entirety of YouTube and put it into like a nutshell, it comes down to you have to learn what your audience enjoys, and then you have to craft content that helps them identify that your content's something that they're interested in, so they'll actually click on it. Once they click on it, you learn over time to create a good experience for them. And the way that you do that is by using your audience retention reports and your logic to see exactly how people are responding to what it is that you're doing. Remove the things that take away from the experience. Do more of the things that add to the experience and keep people watching for longer. You don't have to have people watching your video all the way to the end, even though that's the goal. But the better you get at that, the more likely your videos are going to do better. There's another guy on Twitter. So this particular guy, he likes to kind of go against everything that YouTube says.
Yeah.
And in his particular case, he's like, yeah, this video is getting like a super high audience retention. And, you know, and it's not doing like that great. So therefore, like the retention isn't like an important thing on YouTube. And the thing that he's taken out is like, or the thing that he's not saying is like, okay, well, how are people like clicking on that? Where are those people that are getting all of that, you know, they're getting that higher retention? Where are they coming in from? Are they coming in from a channel page? Are they coming in from YouTube search? Like, where is it coming from? Like he doesn't go down that rabbit hole because I'm not sure if he's like there yet or not. Yeah. But the whole idea is like when it comes to YouTube, if you want success here, you have to like learn how to just make content that the people that you're trying to reach will respond to. And you do that through experimentation and through paying attention to how people respond to what it is that you're doing. But it's not easy, is it, D?
Yeah, no, it's not. I have three things to say, and then I'm going to shut up and move to the next question.
Okay.
Number one.
First, super sticker. Thank you, CNC Moto Factory, for the super sticker.
Super sticker.
Boom.
In terms of it not being easy, I'm going to address this comment that I put on the screen from Albie. He says, thumbnails are very hard. Pretty much everything, mistakes, the do's and don'ts. Yeah, here's the thing. None of this is easy.
Yeah.
None of this is easy. The problem is,
people expect it to be easy.
You expect it to be easy because it looks easy from the outside. But I can assure you, and Nick can do this too, and anyone in here who's been on the platform for a while, we've been at this for a very long time. You know, I've been doing graphic design for 25 years. I've been editing videos for 25 years. Even then, I mean, I still struggle with this sometimes. So there's two things when it comes to difficulty in how easy it could be. Is one is you have to make it and make it look good, but two, you have to make it so somebody actually reacts to it. So there's two different levels of difficulty there. Making it is one thing. Yeah. Making it so someone reacts to it.
Making it effective is another thing.
Making it effective is a totally different thing. So these are just things you have to learn. And I don't care where you're at on your journey, people still take a swing and miss at all levels. Second thing.
The important thing, though, is that you're staying in the ring.
Yes. Yeah. It's just when you're just starting out, you lack the skills. That's all it is. It's like anything else. So I'm going to the gym and my muscles aren't. I've only been going to the gym for, I don't know, 6 months. I'm not swole.
Right.
Well, you know, keep going to the gym.
Right.
You'll get there.
What's your diet look like?
What's your diet look like?
Yeah.
How long are you going to the gym?
Right. What are you doing when you're in there?
What are you doing when you're in there?
Right.
Exactly. So So you just lack the skills. That's why it's difficult right now. Second thing I want to say is, because you mentioned Roger Wakefield, the expert plumber, and I'm curious, for everyone in the chat, this is a great place to leave a comment. Do you have anything in your personal life, and this is a question for everyone, do you have anything that happens in your personal life where when it happens, you think of a YouTuber? For me, I think of Roger Wakefield a lot more than I should because we're constantly having problems with our plumbing. The shower, the water pressure goes off, the toilet is having problems, there's like a sewer smell, constantly having problems with the plumbing. And I think of Roger Wakefield multiple times a week.
That's funny.
And I'm curious if anybody has anybody else where like you just doesn't necessarily have to be problems.
I'm not saying it's funny that you think of Roger. I think it's funny that you're having so many problems. Like you're having plumbing problems like multiple times per week.
We're having so much problem with our plumbing. I've considered flying Roger Wakefield over here first class, putting him up for a week. Putting him up for a week, first class trip to come fix our plumbing.
Love it.
Because in the long run, it would be cheaper than having all of these people keep coming back and trying to fix it.
True.
Yeah. I'm curious if there's anybody else who has those people in mind. And Roger says that's scary. First class ticket, buddy. I'm telling no exit ride. I know you like to ride the exit route. No, you're first class, man. Come on over.
Detours with Jeff is our next question. They do daily content. They've been on YouTube for a year more. The goal of channel is to make money. And the question is, why hasn't Dee been uploading videos to his channel in almost a year? If I can upload videos while being on a cruise ship, then there's no excuse for Dee not to be able to upload new content no matter where he's at in Mexico, Taiwan, Zimbabwe. By the way, Dee, thanks for loving my new thumbnails and see you both at Vid Summit.
Ready? I don't want to.
Boom.
I don't want to. Maybe I've been uploading videos someplace else.
Next up, we've got One Step. One Step uploads every other day. They do fighting games. The goal of the channel is to make my skills and knowledge into a fun and profitable career. And the question is, my dude, good evening to you. Let's say I have 3 shorts and I want to upload them all in a day. What I usually do is upload at 9, noon, and then 3. Does that matter? Or could you upload all 3 shorts at the same time and get the same results you think? Like, does the idea of letting a short breathe exist, or is it good to upload as much as you want, kind of thing? Any thoughts and help on this is appreciated. I would give them space just so that you can, get them in front of people, right? Like, I would give them just a little bit of space just to kind of see how they do and all of that, and then, and then publish another one like after. I think the way that you're doing it is fine. Just make sure that you are looking for that section of, when people are online and all of that in your analytics, so you can make sure that you are uploading, when people are there initially. Of course, it's not going to impact like the long-term performance, but it's just kind of good practice, just so you can feed, YouTube the information that it needs, a little bit faster there when your viewers are online.
Ron's Trains and Things thinks
hey, what's up,
Paul
Ron?
Peck. He thinks of Paul Peck.
Paul Peck,
right?
Nice.
Yeah, but that's my whole point. That's my whole point is just, if you're used to, if you watch these creators, you get to know some of these creators, that stuff has an overflow into real life. That was just my whole thing. And I find myself like, trying to, put caulk around the toilet. And I'm just like, boy, Roger, what would Roger do?
Right.
What would Roger do right
bracelet.
now?
Yeah.
Right.
WWRD.
Yeah, WWRD. What would Roger do right now? Yeah.
Anissa's Corner, thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate it. So next up on our list here, we've got, let's see here, Cooking with Caitlin. Cooking with Caitlin does cooking content. The goal of the channel is to learn how to cook more dishes and teach others along the way. The question is, I uploaded what to do with Party Leftovers Wednesday. The video had 80 views the first day, and then it blew up to around 400 the next. The only issue is most of the views are from YouTube advertising, and people are watching less than a minute worth. What should I do to fix this? Re-upload it? So it's weird that the views are coming from YouTube advertising, especially on a video that's fresh, or that's that fresh. That might be, like an error on their side, possibly. I'm not sure, but I would just write it out. It wouldn't be worth like taking it down and re-uploading it, so I wouldn't necessarily worry about that. But those advertising views, those people are essentially just giving you free views. But when it comes to how those viewers are interacting with that content, that doesn't impact you in the recommendation system. So the recommendation system is going to treat the video based on how people respond to it in the recommendation system, not how people respond to it through the ads that somebody's running on it.
Let's say we get a super sticker.
Super sticker.
Which one?
Yeah, Anissa's Corner.
Yeah, that was the one that we did a minute ago. But thank you, Anissa's Corner, for the super
Okay.
sticker. Yeah, and Jerry mentioned also that you can have that checkbox for unchecking the box that allows advertisers to run your videos as an ad. That is a new thing that they've put in there recently as well. But really, at the end of the day, like, I don't care. Like, if somebody wants to use my video as an ad, they're bringing more attention to me. So I really don't care personally. But if that is something that you're like, hey, I want to kind of control that a little bit, then that would definitely be the thing to do if you wanted to do that.
So Panthas Oracle Grace Card says, can you produce a thumbnail on an iPhone?
Yeah.
Go to my channel. I've got multiple videos on how to make easy, effective thumbnails using various apps on your phone.
Yep.
Absolutely, you can.
Contempo Coding. They upload 1 time per week or more. The type of channel is medical coding and education. The goal of the channel is to inform others about medical billing and coding careers, help with certification preparation and career prep. The question is, I'm heading to an industry conference next month and interviewing a bunch of industry experts in person to use for content on my channel. Like a lot of channels, interview content does not perform as well as my standard educational videos. Would it be better to use these as additional uploads besides, or uploads outside of my usual weekly upload and then put them into the podcast playlist? You can absolutely do that. Or when you are recording the interviews, instead of making it come across like an interview about the person, make it to where they're actually sharing their information in a way that would be educational for your audience. So if people come to your content for educational purposes, then in that particular case, asking them the questions that would help, that would basically just bring a bunch of power tips from experienced people to the people that are interacting with your content, I think would be, a good approach there. In addition to the videos not performing well in your channel, try them because, long-term, in some cases, those types of things do get, a lot of views on them. So it's definitely worth, putting out for sure. But In terms of, your regular upload cadence and dropping those in as bonus content, you could definitely do that if you have a members, attached to your YouTube channel where you accept channel memberships. Then in that case, you could, publish them there as, extra content for people to consume if they're members. That sort of thing is definitely an option as well. But another thing to keep in mind is when it comes to interview content, you can upload the content to where it is just that, like, hey, this is just me talking to that person. But you can also, edit those in a way that are, a little bit more fun too if you wanted to. But it's definitely a lot of extra work to do that. But that can be effective if you find that people are responding well to your normal educational content, but they don't respond well to your interviews if they're also educational. Then in that particular case, like maybe trying to edit them in a different way or something that might cause people to experience that content in a different way that might help them respond to it differently would definitely be something worth experimenting with.
Oh, we get a super sticker.
Hammy and Sammy, thank you for the super sticker. Super appreciated. So next up, we've got Contempo Coding. I think we just did that one. Hold on. Okay. Yep. So next up on the list here, we got Stephen Corey, Bite Size Photography, another photography channel in here, loving it. The type of channel is technology education, and the goal of the channel is teaching others about Microsoft technology. And the question is, I noticed a big dip in views and impressions starting in June when summer break started for many families. Do you think there's correlation? It could be. But, the summertime's a, daytime thing and a weekend thing and, and an after work thing in, some cases. So because of that, I would say that people definitely still have time for, their technology content. But, when, it does get nice outside, if it's nice outside in the area that you're mainly targeting with your content, then, you can content dependent, catch a little bit of a dip there. There is seasonality when it comes to YouTube in terms of like the literal seasons, but also in terms of just like sometimes, people are way more into the content for a niche than other times. Like, for example, like if you're a fitness channel, you're likely to see a nice spike at the beginning of the year and that kind of stuff. So, so it could definitely be something like that. If you have been on YouTube, you've been on YouTube for less than a year, so never mind. One thing that you might want to do though, is you might want to just kind of note this moment in time. And if things end up, bouncing back, then in that particular case, since you have this noted now, start looking for that pattern again next year so you can see if you can kind of count on that as just like a dip. And if so, then you can kind of plan accordingly for it. But another thing to keep in mind is if you do have, a big dip in your views and impressions right now, one thing that you might also want to do is go and like look at your content and look for any content that was getting views but ended up like falling off. So, for example, like if you had some feeder videos on your channel, what I mean by feeder videos is, if you had like just a handful of videos on your channel that were bringing in a bunch of traffic, and then let's say you were positioned next to a few other videos not on your channel but that you were getting a lot of suggested traffic from, then in that particular case, if somebody else ended up outranking you next to some of those videos, or a bunch of videos did, and you lost that as kind of like a strong traffic source, then that can kind of ripple down into your channel as well. So I would definitely go into your analytics and look for any things that have fallen off there, just so you can have an understanding. In that particular case, there's not really much you can do about it outside of just kind of understanding why things are low. Another thing as well is start looking at, like, if your impressions are low, it doesn't necessarily mean that people are outside. It could also mean that just the topics that you're coming up with right now, or maybe how you're packaging your videos right now in terms of your, topic title and thumbnail. It could be that those are just not knocking it out of the park like the ones that you were doing previously as well. So I would definitely look into all of those factors. And the way that you can do that is you can go in and you can say, okay, well, I'm going to go in, I'm going to look at my click-through rate compared to impressions and all the different traffic sources for the videos that did well. I'm going to look at my retention for those videos. I'm going to see, all of that information. And then I'm going to actually compare that against, where my videos are currently with the ones that aren't doing as well. And when you do that, YouTube has a compare option inside of YouTube Analytics. And that compare option by itself, you can just hit that button and you can say, okay, I'm going to compare this video to this video. And you can start to get a lot of insights from that, especially when you start looking at like, like when you get the date ranges to, similar times and things like that, it can really start to give you some insights on why, some content is performing over other content.
So
in terms of just overall video performance.
We've got a question in the chat that Doug brought to my attention. This is a StreamYard user. So they're saying interesting, and this is just something we're going to add some clarity to. Interesting is we have heard that when you co-stream with multiple people that you, assuming you're the host, get everyone's watch hours, and we've heard that from multiple people.
No, it's not true.
No, that's not true.
So basically what's happening right now is we're going through StreamYard. We're going to my channel. We're going to Dee's channel. So what's happening there is Dee's getting the watch time on his channel. I'm getting the watch time on my channel. And like the way that works is both channels are co-hosts right now. Right. So basically, or we're both hosts right now on our own channels. So that's how that works out. Now, if you're using like YouTube's live together feature, then in that particular case, then it would still go to the host channel in that particular case, because then that, person is initiating it, but then they also get it. But I'm just saying for the, for that person being on the channel, then they would still, have the watch time, there. But when it comes to, porting out through StreamYard and going out that way, everything is hosted, individually on both channels that way.
Super sticker. Thank you so much, Dr. Tonya. Much appreciated. Love the hippos. Crocodile.
Dr. Tonya says, thank you for all that you do. Thank you for your support for the last 24 months.
I just want to let you know how much trouble I'm going to be in if I ever go somewhere where there's both hippopotamus and alligators or crocodiles in the water.
Why?
Because I clearly don't understand if these are hippos or alligators.
Oh, okay.
The little sticker she added.
Yep.
I mean,
and there's the side of like crocodiles versus alligators too.
Right.
Like being able to identify it. Could you identify, if I was like, hey, here's two of these things, would you be able to say that one's a crocodile?
I'm not going to hang out long enough to try to determine which one is which.
I like your style, D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm not. I don't know. That one could be an alligator.
Yeah. Maybe I could walk near that one. Maybe I couldn't.
I know. Yeah. But the cute little stickers on there, and I'm just like, is that a hippopotamus or are those alligators? But hippos are fierce. They're fierce and they can run really fast. Did you know that?
I did not know that about hippos.
Have you seen videos of hippos chasing boats?
I've not.
Oh my! They run as fast as cars.
Really?
Oh yeah, they can run down a boat.
Like big heavy hippos? I didn't know that.
They can run down a boat and knock a whole boat over. They are fierce.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
They are fierce.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway,
hey, they say you learn something new every day. Just learn something.
There you go.
So Tube Spanner in the house. What's up, Danielle? Hope you're doing awesome.
Hey,
says, we started a manicure and nail art channel last week, but it does not get many views. We know what is wrong, though. The pictures of the finger and toenails are all fine, but the thumbnails are awful. Okay, that one's better. That one's definitely better. I think that one's more of an original. Not sure, but that one's definitely better. Thank you, Danielle.
Ed thinks they're hippos. They're cute, whatever they are. Thank you.
So next up, let's hear. We did the technology education one. Yeah, we're on question 11 right now. So hey, really quick, as just as a reminder, if you are just joining this stream, we are answering YouTube related questions. So if you have any questions about anything that you're trying to figure out about YouTube, there's a form down in the description where you can put your question. We're answering them in the order that they come in. If something's like really unique or interesting, then we'll answer it directly out of the comment section. But if not, if it's a question we get asked all the time, then in that particular case, we prefer it to be in the form, and then we answer it, catered to your channel, your goals, and all of that as well. So
Shark Scrapper says, "Yep, hippos will kill you till you're dead."
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
They're fast and aggressive. Yeah,
lesson learned. So never stare down a hippo, I guess.
Yeah.
So Polymaniacs is the next channel here. They do daily content, been on YouTube for a year or more. They do educational / entertainment content around geography and history. The goal of the channel is to join the YouTube Partner Program and make money. The question is, hey, Nick, I'm a small YouTuber with 462 subs. I make shorts about geography and history and rarely make long-form videos. I average around 900 views per short, and my past 3 shorts got 57, 1.5K, and 2.5K views. I'm trying a new schedule for shorts when I make a lot, about 4 to 7 of shorts a day, and schedule them so that I upload 3 shorts a day. I'm also concerned as to why I don't seem to get as many views as other creators in my niche. Others get about 100,000 to 300,000 per video. Can you please give me advice on how I can get more people to watch my shorts, make better hooks, and how to improve my audience retention? I'm also trying to get more long-form content via podcast. Can you please give me some general advice for that too?
Anything else? Anything else you want to add to that list?
So when it comes to
that's a long list, man.
It is. When it comes to your YouTube shorts and any of your content, it's good to look and see what other people are doing just to kind of get like a feel for the potential. But at the end of the day, it's important to make sure that you are like, okay, if my stuff is not performing the way that their stuff is performing, then I need to go into my analytics and try to figure out how people are experiencing my content. So what's probably happening is they are either one, like I'm not sure like channel size. I'm not sure if they already have like an audience that, is is really into what it is that they're doing. I'm not sure if they're uploading, enough shorts on a regular basis. They build an entire audience just around their shorts alone. Like there's a lot more, information that goes there. So because of that, it's important to remember that, we have our YouTube analytics that show us how people are responding to what we're doing. So one, you need to make sure that you're looking in there. Two, also look at the people that are getting the better results with their videos.
What's their channel name?
And start taking notes.
What's their channel name?
Let's see
I'm
here.
Just curious. I just want to have a look.
Pola Maniacs, Pola Maniacs.
Okay.
But the idea is to study those videos, study other videos in YouTube Shorts that are even outside of your niche, and look at them and pay attention to exactly how they're starting the videos and those types of things. So, for example, one thing that I found is motion at the beginning for my type of content, for me trying to grab people's attention, is motion. Right when my shorts start, typically helps the people will just watch just a little bit longer when I have motion versus me just sitting there. So when my shorts first start, because I know that now, so because of that, there'll be a zoom at the beginning. There'll be some type of thing where the short will come up and it will give like when you're in the short shelf or on TikTok, either one, and you slide up, the video could just be there, but instead of it being there, I let it land, and then I have the video go up just a little bit more and do a slight zoom in when it comes up, just for the sake of adding that motion there. So, look for things like that in your content and try to uncover okay, they're liking this part, but they're not getting very far, in the video. Another thing to keep in mind is that when it comes to short content, just like everything else, the time people spend on that is also going to be a factor. So, if your shorts are, 10 seconds long and nobody's looping them and they're just watching that 10 seconds and then moving on, but the people that you are saying, are getting better results, and I'm just using this as an example, if they're uploading, 59-second shorts and people are watching those all the way to the end and looping them, then in that particular case, they're getting more, watch time. So since they're getting more watch time there, what's going to happen is YouTube's going to show it to more people like those people, so that YouTube can continue to get that watch time, from that content that people are really enjoying enough to watch the entire 59 seconds and then possibly loop it again. So, you have to make sure that you're factoring in those things. Other things to keep in mind is, audio quality matters, video quality matters, what you say, what you show, all of that stuff matters. So because of that, your job as a content creator is to experiment with all those things. Okay, for these next 10 shorts, and this is how you do that. For these next 2 shorts, I'm going to start it like this. So especially since you're publishing a lot, you're going to be able to do this quickly. So my first, handful of, or my next 10 shorts, I'm going to start, each one, in this kind of way to try to hook the viewer. And then I'm going to go back in and I'm going to look and I'm going to see exactly how people responded to those hooks. Then I'm going to try a different hook and see how people respond to those hooks, or a different type of, way that I'm doing it. And then you just kind of rinse and repeat that process, and you do it for longer and longer periods of time. So you have your hook, and then after that, you have where you would actually get into the content, showing people whatever it is, which can also be part of your hook, depending on what it is that you're making. But the idea is to just keep trying to, experiment with different things, and then look in your analytics to see how people responded to those things, rinse and repeat with trying new things.
There you go. I couldn't find their channel based on that name.
Oh, you couldn't?
Yeah.
Next up, we've got, let's see here, the channel name. Yeah, this isn't even a channel name. Let me go down. So it says my Prime Day is Sunday at noon Eastern. Should I still do that or try other times and days? Yeah,
Amazon Prime is coming.
Prime Day's already happened. Prime Day's over.
Did I miss Prime Day?
You missed Prime Day. Yeah,
awesome.
you missed Prime Day.
Buy some stuff.
Yeah, well, you can still buy it. It
Black
just won't
Friday.
be. It just won't be under
Black
Prime.
Friday?
Yeah, Black Friday. Where you at? Yeah. But
really,
yeah.
I missed it. I thought it was. I thought it was this weekend.
No, it's it already happened. Yep. So you blew that, D. Nice work. Nice work. Way to go.
Do you ever feel like you're just living in a dream, like a dream?
Pretty much every day, 24 hours a day. Yeah.
It's like, man, I just keep missing these things. Like, I'm going to do that, missed it. I'm going to do this, missed it. Oh, they're playing in Bangkok. I need to see that concert. Happened last week.
But yeah, you say my Prime Day is Sunday at noon. Should I still try that or other times and days? So yeah, you should still, like when it comes to you uploading your YouTube videos, experiment with other times and days, of course. Like that time of day that you have the people most active. In that particular case, like that's where you have the most people on platform at that point in time. But it doesn't guarantee that, you know, those people are going to respond, right? So because of that, you can publish technically at any time. You just want to think about the people that you're trying to reach and kind of like the lifestyle they might live. So for example, if you're trying to reach people in the States, then in that particular case, depending on the type of content that you put out, you know, you might want to publish like early morning in the East Coast so that you can ride it across for that first day. So you can ride it across the country in the different time zones for that first day. If you are, you know, reaching people that are, you know, that would be likely to be busy in the mornings, like let's say you're reaching like a single parent, then in that particular, with your content, then in that particular case, publishing in that early morning spot might not be the best because they might not even have time to look at it, you know, at that point in time, because they're getting themselves ready, their kids ready, getting everybody off to school and all that good stuff. So, you know, just keeping all of those types of things in mind when it comes to when you publish is really important.
We have somebody from Thailand, Bodo Thai. Sawadee krap.
Sawadee krap.
He says, with your advice, I go from 0 subscribers to 2,000 subscribers within 2 months.
Nice.
Thank
nice
you.
work. Nice work. Yeah, I'm going to pull up their channel real quick so I can just kind of have it here. Bodo Thai.
Bodo Thai. Love it. He's got a site about all things Thailand.
Oh, nice.
Good. Love it.
Love it. Going to subscribe to that one.
Yep.
All right, so next up on the list here, we've got Major DIY. Thanks for the super chat. Says, I do speaker tests. Oh, that's cool. Says, I do speaker tests. Now I record 16 videos, one long with all speakers, short test, and 15 vids with more details on each speaker. Should I upload 15 videos at once or daily? What is the best strategy? Man, that's a tough one. That's such a unique case. Let me think about that for a second.
What was the question again?
So this is one of those ones where you got to think of the viewer, right, and the experience they're going to have. So they do speaker tests.
Okay.
They record 16 videos for each test. One long with all the speakers, and then with all the speakers short tests, I'm not sure what that is, and 15 videos with more details on, one long video with all of the speakers tests, and then 15 videos with more details on each speaker. Okay, so then in that case,
Interesting question.
Yeah, so if you do each individual speaker, then I would actually package them up separately as a sound test for that particular speaker. And instead of uploading them all at the same time, I would actually upload those, you know, like one speaker test every day. That's what I would do. And then at the end of all of that, then I would put out the one video that is the short test of all of the speakers together. And then I would have that particular video leading people into a playlist of all of the individual speaker tests. So when you get to that last video, when you're putting it together, you're going to have to do this. Towards the end of that video, you would say something along the lines of, you know, I've done, you know, extensive detailed tests on each one of these speakers individually. I've got a playlist where you can check that out, you know, down in the description and, you know, right here in this end screen. So you can click on that to go, you know, check that out. So basically I would do individual speaker tests as a standalone video and even record it that way as a standalone video, and then do one long, or then do the one longer video at the end and drive into the playlist.
That's a lot of video. It's a lot of preparation.
That is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, again, think of the viewer, like you said, and think about how you can connect those viewers so they're going to binge watch stuff.
Yeah.
I do that a lot when I'm researching something. I might want to buy this. Mm-hmm. I go to a channel, and one of the things that drives me crazy is I'm like, okay, I like the creator, I like the content they're making, very valuable information, and then it's over, and either they've led me to nothing else, or they try to send me off to something unrelated to what I just watched, and then I go find somebody else's channel, somebody else's video. So make it easy for the viewer to find the next video that you want them to watch. Super sticker or super chat?
Demons Row, thank you for the super chat. Says, thank you for your advice. When I got hacked, I thought they would wipe my bank account out. YouTube had me back up in 24 hours, getting close to 300K. Any tips on taking it to the next level? Yeah, man, just use, like, this is a great opportunity.
Hacked, man. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I know. This is a great opportunity because you're doing awesome. So because of that, you're able to, you know, publish a video, get, you know, a bunch of views on it, and you're able to collect information fast on how people are responding to what it is that you're doing. You also have like a bunch of videos that are performed well across your channel, and you can break all of those videos down into different categories to where it's like, you know, hey, this one right here is a, hold on, if a 1% says you can't wear a patch, don't be delusional. So yeah, so like one could be like, you know, this is about, you know, Harley related stuff. This one's about, you know, political stuff, which it looks like maybe one of these might be. But basically just looking at your content and saying like, these are generally generally about these types of things, and then grouping them together that way, and then but then comparing them against each other in your grouping feature in your YouTube analytics, so you can just get a really good understanding of what your audience, is like loving the most from you, and how they respond to everything it is that, that you're putting out. And the long goal for this is that when you are, when you're doing this, it's best practice to say, okay, out of all the different, ways that I put this content out, people typically respond to like these the best, and they respond to this one the least. So then what you do in that case is, if that one doesn't have some other purpose, then in that case you kind of, fade that one away, and then you use that as an experiment, as an experimental. You experiment with the replacement of that content so that you can, just do something different and then see how people respond to that. And then you do the same exact thing where you can compare it against the other videos, and then you kind of rinse and repeat that process. So it's basically saying, I have like these, different types of videos on the channel. People respond to these the best. They respond to this the least. So I'm going to fade that one out, and then I'm going to experiment and see if I can come up with something that competes with these other ones that I'm doing. And then once I get, something that does that, then I'm going to fade out that next one, and you rinse and repeat that process.
Yeah, to let
Love
everyone...
your thumbnails, though.
Yeah,
just want to say that I'm looking at right now. Yeah, super cool thumbnails.
Yeah, I want to say that YouTube is getting a lot more efficient at recovering hacked channels. Remember when that first started happening, people were waiting months.
Yeah, it was
to
really
get
bad.
those things rebuilt. They're on top of that. So that's, I'm sure they put a system in place because it's so widespread.
Sure.
Also, I want to address people asking where's my, are you answering my question? There's a link down below. Put your question in the forum down below. We answer them first come, first serve. So it's all answered in chronological order.
Yep.
If you're just coming in, you might have to wait just a little bit to get your question answered. But if it's a legit question and you put it in the forum, we will answer it.
Yep. And as a heads up, too, if you're a content creator, just as a heads up, and I know everybody here is, we've also got a bunch of links down in the description as well to like helpful tools and resources also. So if you're looking for anything at all to help you with your YouTube channel, definitely make sure that you check those out. Some of them are our stuff. Some of them are like our free music service and my Tuber Tools website. We can get graphics and that kind of stuff. Some of them are affiliate links. Some of them are like sponsor links, but it's all awesome. It's all awesome stuff that can help you out. So make sure you check it out. Next up, we've got Rose Nganji. I hope I'm saying that right.
She's the one that was saying, have you addressed my question? She's the one that was asking.
Oh, that's funny.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
See,
so we're getting it right now.
If you would have just waited for like 15 seconds.
Patience,
grasshopper. Patience.
So it says, what type of channel do you have? It's a lifestyle channel. The goal of the channel is to entertain and educate. The question is it allowed to use my thumbnail that I customized from Canva, which might contain pictures which were not taken by myself? So technically, yes, as long as you have the rights to use that. So like, for example, if Canva has stock images that they allow people to use as part of their system, then in that particular case, you're fine. But I would definitely make sure that you are reading their fine print to see exactly how you can use them. Make sure you can use them for commercial use if you're monetized, that kind of stuff. Otherwise, you cannot, just as a heads up in terms of, copyright stuff, you can't hop on like Google Images, for example, and just like, look for an image of like some celebrity and just steal that image and just use that. You can run into trouble with those types of things. But when it comes to services like Canva or like TubeSpanner, for example, anything that helps you make thumbnails,
royalty-free imagery.
Yeah, royalty-free imagery, then you're usually good when you're getting it from, one of those services. Yeah, but so just double check though, like make sure you're reading any of their terms or anything like that to make sure you can use it in the way that you're wanting to use it.
That's the technical answer. And I've got a question for everyone in the chat, including you. Me? And I'm not talking about videos. Has anyone, or maybe yourself or you in the chat, have you ever heard of anyone having copyright issues due to thumbnails? I've
submitted copyright, a DMCA takedown. I've submitted those.
Yours, but I've
submitted those for thumbnails.
Yeah, because somebody's using your image.
Right.
But do you actually know somebody who's received just like a general use?
Nope.
Like, here's something, here's a woman holding a bowl, a salad bowl or something like that, or a guy at the gym.
No.
Right. No. Right.
Yeah.
So the person in your case,
but I mean, that's a very anecdotal thing though.
Right. Like, I'm just curious.
In terms of my reach compared to like all of the YouTubers on the internet, I definitely.
So Try It Too comes in. So
everybody.
So this is great feedback. So hey man, how's it going? He says don't ever use Disney or WWD images because they will copyright you like crazy.
Nintendo's famous for Nintendo's famous for that too.
For images.
Yeah, but it's usually in video content.
So
good.
Well, the reason I'm asking because I wonder if it's things where they find them or they have their own system looking for those things, because as far as I know, and I don't know if Renee's in here, but I don't believe Content ID is checking that.
Yeah, for the thumbnails. Yeah, I think they have to. I think they have to be reported, but I could be wrong. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think they need to be reported, but I'm not sure.
That's what I was thinking about. So I'm just thinking some people have their own systems to actually look for that.
Look for that stuff. Yeah,
there's one. Yeah, they digitally fingerprint it and then go on the internet and scour the internet looking for that thing. Yeah.
Next up, we've got Travel Discovery. Travel Discovery says that they do bi-weekly content. The type of channel is travel education. The goal of the channel is education about all countries of the world. And the question is, what percentage of people should view your video if you have 3,000 subscribers, for example? Is 500 views good? Is 1,500 views good? What is the bare minimum? There isn't a bare minimum. If you put out a video that people don't respond well to, then it won't get very far at all. If you put out a video that people respond like okay to, then in that case, it'll get, okay views. If you put out a video that people are just like going crazy over and they're having a great experience, they absolutely love like every aspect of it, they're sharing it with friends. People that have like websites are running across this video because they're seeing it shared all over the place. They take that video and they write like a blog post about it, about the stuff in the video, and then that gets you even more distribution. People start sharing it all over Reddit and all those different communities there. Like there isn't a minimum. There is a is this video getting a better response than my last video, or is this video getting a response that I'm, happy with? That's where it is. In terms of like the bare minimum, it doesn't exist. You can publish something right now, and if you have 3,000 subscribers on your channel, there's going to be a decent amount of people that will get recommended that video. But based on how those people respond to it is going to determine if more and more people are going to see it initially. And then of course YouTube will continue, as they always do, to just randomly just kind of keep giving your videos impressions over time as long as they're on the platform. And if people suddenly start responding well to that video, then you can see videos just take off out of nowhere.
So Demon Dro comes in with another super chat, and he's saying, I've had my logo used on other people's channel. Could this be taken down? I thought it was only videos. Yeah, so YouTube has, and you actually have to hunt for this. They have another system just for reporting images and avatars. So yes, you can try to have it taken down. I've actually had some things denied, which is, I don't even know the legalities of that for denying my claim on that, where people have used my image in an avatar and tried to like make
I've also had my image used in a thumbnail, and I've tried to take that down and got denied too. So I've taken down thumbnails where people have stolen mine and re-uploaded mine, but like people using my image in a thumbnail, I've had that happen, and I've been denied those too.
I wish, full disclosure, I wish I had the kind of funds in the bank to just randomly sue YouTube over stuff like that, because I'm sure there's some like because you send out a proper DMCA takedown notice, and they're like, no, we don't think that's yours. Like, that's my picture. Like, how do you deny that? I would love to see those sorts of lawsuits. I would love to see that. I have a thing for people ignoring copyright claims and copyright strikes and takedown notices. It infuriates me.
Rainbow 4894 says that they do bi-weekly content. The type of channel is kids. The goal of the channel is to uplift kids, learn, make money from college, for college and living expenses. And the question is, I have 2,732 public watch hours and 322 subscribers that I'm going to lose in 2 days. Should I try to get 178 subscribers and 268 public watch hours in 2 days? This might be easier for a big channel, but Grandma is still learning YouTube. So
Grandma is using YouTube, learning YouTube.
Yep.
That's amazing.
So here's something to make sure that you're thinking about is when it comes to the public watch hours, all of that is rolling. So even if you replaced it like tomorrow, then the next day, whatever it is that you accumulated, of tomorrow of next year, it would end up falling off. So then it just kind of keeps you in that race. So the best thing that you can do is what you're already doing, which is focusing on making content that people respond well to, or in your case, kids respond well to, so that you can get more than you need within that 365-day period to ensure that you can meet the requirements to get into the partner program.
Yeah, so legal-minded friends Karen says, how can YouTube say your own photo is not yours? Crazy. Yeah, to be more specific.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I have situations where people will steal my avatar, a photo that I took of myself, they'll steal that and make accounts pretending to be me. And I've given up trying to take down the actual accounts because they want you to submit like all these identification forms. I was like, man, you can't even protect my channel. I'm not sending you my ID for that sort of stuff. I'll give it to the AdSense department, but I'm not sending it to just some random department in YouTube for that. Right. So I've quit trying to take down the channels.
Larry over in
Larry. Yeah. No. But so I've quit trying to take down the channels that impersonate me. So what I do is I try to get them to remove the images of me. So when it's like I took the picture, I own the picture. That's the same avatar that I use. How in the world can you deny? Like, here's my channel. There's the picture. I own the picture.
For impersonation,
it's a proper DMCA takedown notice. And it was like, nah.
Yeah, for impersonation, it's more efficient to just report them for impersonation. That usually will get them taken down.
They want all your identification. Yeah. They want all this other.
No, they don't. If you report them, you can even report impersonation on other people. Even like I could see somebody impersonating you, and I could report that even as not you.
Right. So there's a report impersonation
for the takedowns.
But there's an actual takedown for impersonation where they want all this identification.
Oh,
and all
got it.
There's like an additional thing if you're reporting it, like the in-depth DMCA takedown for imagery and stuff like that. They've got a section, another thing for impersonation that's different than the quick report.
Oh, okay.
So they got the quick report that's like misinformation, impersonation. They have a whole other section for that.
Yeah, if you go through that quick one, then it'll get it done faster. Yeah, my situation with that was somebody used my image on a video where they were going after Roberto.
Yeah.
And they mentioned me and they mentioned Rob over at vidIQ and a handful of other people in there too. But they put my photo in the thumbnail, and I tried to get that one taken down, and they denied that one too. And the whole thing was that they basically just cut me out, and then they just used me, and then they built like a custom thumbnail for it. So because of that, the work of art wasn't it wasn't stolen.
So Mr. Melkor says, you guys think it's reasonable to try to do takedowns because people use a picture of you? Yeah. So if you own it, you own that image. Right. Now, if we're in an event and somebody takes pictures of us,
totally different.
It's totally different because they took the image. They own the copyright to that image. Right. That's the law. That's the law. If I take the picture, I own the copyright. If I make the video, I own the video. Yeah.
Panda Squad, thank you for the super chat. Says, following you guys changed my life. I'm now at 2 million subscribers from Shorts, top 100 Roblox channel. However, from the point I'm going to quit long form, I get no views. Should I just focus on shorts and streams? Yeah, absolutely. First off, congratulations to you. High five and fist bump for that. Second is when it comes to deciding not to do long form and deciding just to do like shorts and streams, all that is fine, because it really comes down to what it is that you're trying to do on your channel. But keep in mind when it comes to shorts, as you already know, it's harder to make money there like per view compared to what it is in long form, but you clearly have it figured out and you're like crushing over in shorts. So because of that, I'm sure you're making up for any difference there. So because of that, I think it's fine. Like as long as you are doing the thing that you enjoy doing and you're getting the response that you are after there, which clearly you are, then in that particular case, I think it's fine. Like fortunately, there's no rule on YouTube that says you have to do all the stuff, right? Like it's general best practice to where if it's like, hey, I have a YouTube channel, so because of that, I should interact in my comments. I should use my community feed. I should experiment with shorts or experiment with long form. I should experiment with live streams and just see if I like it, see how people respond to it, things like that. But your way down the path of your journey. So because of that, when you found that thing that works, that you enjoy doing, then in that case, just lean into it and just keep walking down that road because you're clearly good at making shorts and getting a response from shorts. So I would keep going what's working.
Yeah, I want to bring this up too because we're just talking about imagery. So Legal Minded Friends talks about, I've been putting the offender in the thumbnail like a news channel. Yeah, so there's an argument for fair use. And I want to be very clear. I do not try
That's more of where my image came into.
Right.
In that situation.
I personally do not remove imagery of me. If you want to make a video about me, good or bad, and you put me in the thumbnail, I'm not going to try to take that down. Where with the images that I do try to take down is where people try.
All right, everybody, quick, go make a bunch of videos about how handsome D is. That's just the videos, yeah.
Or just how much you hate.
He's so handsome.
How much you hate. Yeah, I'm not going to take that down. Like I believe
with analogies. D's handsome, and then kind of fill in the blank.
Right,
those would be good shorts.
If Owen Video and D Nimmin were on an island,
right?
And they were right,
yeah. And they were having a handsome contest.
That's right.
Between the two of them,
Owen would win.
Yeah.
I would be voted off the island.
Yeah,
no, you make videos about me. I don't care about that. What I'm talking about specifically when someone's trying to impersonate me and they're using my own imagery from my own channel. and to pretend to be me, I take those down.
Yeah.
I try to take them down. That's what I'm talking about. What you're talking about is fair use. That's a good argument.
So really quick,
Super
yep. Deleuze book series says my analytics are falling. I'm getting depressed. No new subs in 2 weeks. Don't get depressed. Here's what I want to tell you real quick. So, and we'll come back to that super chat right here in a second. Major DIY. So, if you could give me just a second here. Yep. So, when it comes to your emotional state being, and trust me, I get it. I've been through this too.
Oh, yeah.
But when it comes to your emotional state being based on your analytics, you're putting, in my opinion, you're putting like too much into what it is that you're doing emotionally. Like when it comes to YouTube, there's ups and downs. There's, different skills that you need to develop for different parts of, what it is that you're doing here on YouTube and things like that. Sometimes, based on, the effort that you put in or based on the decisions that you're making at that point in time, sometimes things are up, sometimes things are down and all of that. So when you are, trying to get this whole ball rolling on your YouTube channel, when you do see things going down, it can be discouraging. But instead of looking at it like, oh, this sucks, everything's going down and, letting it impact you in that way, instead look at it like, okay, well, I'm still, definitely in this like learning process, just like everybody is. Like me and Dee have been doing this for a long time and, we're still, learning too. So it's like, just looking at it.
Man, always learning. It doesn't end.
Yeah, if you stop learning, you're done. Yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
So like, just look at it more as like, hey, this is just part of the process. So things are going down right now, which means that either one, I'm not doing everything that I could, or two, it means that maybe I need to work on some aspect or multiple aspects of what it is that I'm doing in terms to in order to get. In order to get things back on track a little bit. So so definitely, don't get discouraged or, depressed by it. Just try to look at it like, okay, I'm putting in this effort and, things aren't going the way that I want right now. But in order to make things go better in the future, then in that case, I need to, work on some stuff to, try to, make things a little bit better.
Onto the super chat.
Sorry to single you out there, but, when I saw that, I was like, yeah, I get it. So,
super chat.
I just super chatted you.
Let's see here.
Major DIY.
Yep. So next up, Major DIY says, if I embed my videos on a web page, Facebook, etc., does it count as a view if it's watched on the website and not on YouTube? What if the video is set to autoplay? So if the video is set to autoplay, then no. But if somebody does watch a video elsewhere, yes. But impressions are not counted if it's on a external website. So if you go to Google right now, and if you type in and do this word for word. If you type in what counts as an impression and then space Google help pages, then you're going to see like official information there, and they give you a full listing on exactly what counts as an impression and what doesn't. And then that'll give you tons of clarity on that particular scenario.
Org says, I made $5 on Rumble in the first week. Does that count? Listen.
Nice. It's good.
Yeah, like you might be laughing about that.
That's good.
But the fact that you can monetize anything that you are uploading anywhere.
Yeah, it's incredible.
So
the opportunity that we have right now is astounding.
It's astounding, yeah. And while you might be thinking, I only made $5. And I see people post like their first AdSense. And like, wow, it was a waste of time. Stop thinking. I mean, AdSense could be low depending on your niche for the videos, but think about it and scale it. It becomes a numbers game.
Right.
Well, you just made $5 your first week of Rumble.
Right.
What's that going to
What do you got to do to make 500?
Right. What's that going to be 3 years from now when you've got an enormous catalog of videos?
Right.
Right. So just think of it as a numbers game.
Yep.
I did this. I earned $5.
Yep.
Start running those numbers. And then just start uploading.
Right.
Turn that into $500.
Yep.
Okay.
Now you know what it takes to make $5, so now you know what it makes to make $5,000.
Exactly. It's a numbers game.
Yep.
Yeah. Rethink this stuff.
Yep.
Hey, Christina, how you doing?
Travel Discovery says, what's Rumble? It's another video platform. So they're kind of like in a way deep, dark corner shadow of what YouTube has in terms of traffic. But some people go there because they're a little bit more open in terms of...
Not a little bit. They're completely
open. They're completely open. Like if you just want to lie to people straight out, like they'll let you do it.
They'll do anything.
Yeah, they'll let you do it. Like they don't care.
Here.
They just want people visiting their site so they can grow it. So they don't care right now. But as they grow, eventually they're going to end up in the same exact situation that YouTube and the the other behemoth services are in because they have to play ball.
Advertisers.
Yeah, so, exactly. So advertisers matter at scale. But right now it's kind of a free for all over there in terms of people being able to, like, you can literally just make stuff up and and they just don't care. Like you can do whatever you want over there.
People who are getting suspended off of YouTube or terminated off of YouTube for very controversial content can go to Rumble, and Rumble welcomes them. But I agree with Nick. as time goes on and they try to attract larger advertisers, I think they're going to have some struggles. They will have to eventually rein that in just a little bit.
Right.
Not as much as YouTube, perhaps, but they'll have to rein that in at some point.
Right.
It's money.
Yeah.
That they're a business.
Christina, it is not. I actually got clearance before I did this. Okay. Yeah, because I had to make sure of that also. So yeah, we're clear.
That doesn't mean there won't be a problem.
I know, right? Yeah,
but yeah, we looked
I got clearance on that first.
Yeah, you got clearance.
Coastal Diva says that they've been on YouTube for less than a year. The type of channel is highlighting coastal decor that is budget friendly. The goal of the channel says would love some passive income. And the question is, I recently read that YouTube doesn't acknowledge more than 15 hashtags in your description. Is it true? Because I thought before it was 45. I've been maxing out the hashtags, and now I don't know if I should just do up to 15. So when it comes to hashtags, the actual official information, if you go to the Google Help pages and you look under hashtags there, you get up to 60 hashtags. Only the first 3 show up underneath your video description. And as soon as you cross that line of the 60, then it renders all of them completely useless. So, so just keep that in mind when it comes to the hashtags.
Yeah, I think also if you're adding hashtags, keep in mind too, like if you click on those hashtags.
Just focus on relevance. Yeah, go ahead.
Focus on relevance. Yeah, if you click on those hashtags, keep in mind, click on those hashtags and see how you're ranking there when you click on those hashtags. Because if you're lost into a sea of videos and your videos are not being shown there, you might want to rethink using that hashtag.
Yep.
Because you're essentially just sending traffic out to people to watch other videos. But if you are ranking there, if you're clicking the hashtag and here's your videos,
yep.
Then yeah, that might be effective.
And for everybody that just Googled that and you see at the very top from Sprout Social, it says 15 hashtags. That is dated information. So if you go down just a few lines, you're going to see the official, Google version down there. And they say specifically, hold on really quick. Let me find it. Says over tagging. Don't add too many tags in a single video or playlist. The more tags, hold on, this isn't it. Hold on. If a video or playlist has more than 60 hashtags, we'll ignore. And this is from YouTube Help and the Google Help pages. It says if it has more than 60 hashtags, we'll ignore each hashtag on that content. Over tagging may result in the removal of your video from your uploads or from search. So just keep that in mind. And then they have misleading content as well, which says don't add hashtags that are not directly related to the video or playlist. This is the part Dee was talking about. Misleading or unrelated hashtags may result in the removal of your video or playlist. So make sure that you keep that in mind. And I'm actually going to share this link in here, just so you guys can check it out for yourself, so you can see the official word on the street, so to speak, when it comes to YouTube hashtags.
Word on the street. I got a question here. Lolo Talk Show in Albuquerque says, if I do YouTube for fun and not get monetized, am I wrong? Well, because you're in Albuquerque, I would say absolutely you're wrong. But for the rest of the world, no. I think that's really cool. If you're doing YouTube for fun,
as long as you don't take a left turn in Albuquerque, I think you're fine.
Yeah, technicality.
Yeah.
If you're doing YouTube for fun and you have no desire to be monetized, then don't worry about it. Don't worry about any of the stuff we're talking about.
Yeah, if you're doing it for fun, just do the stuff that brings you joy.
Right. A lot of the things that we help people with and the things that we're talking about, we're coming from the angle of we want to help you grow your channel. Mm-hmm. We want to help you optimize your channel. Mm-hmm. We want to make it a better viewer experience for the people who come to your channel, with the hopes of that you are going to eventually make money. Yep. And you actually do monetization streams where you help people find better ways to monetize their channel.
Totally.
How often do you do that? I don't know what your schedule is.
I was doing them weekly, then I pulled back. Next month, so here in about 15 days, I'm going to start doing a weekly one of those on my channel again for the live streams.
Jerry caught it. He said, I knew there'd be a Bugs Bunny joke in there somewhere.
Love it.
Yeah.
Natasha Razor Glam says that they've been on YouTube for a year or more. They do beauty content. The goal of the channel is to make money sharing my cosmetology experience. And the question is, I've had my channel for 10 years. I just started taking it seriously this year. I barely can get 100 views. Does YouTube not put me in the algorithm because my channel is old? No. So what you want to do, let's see here, what was the channel name again? Natasha, is you want to go into your YouTube analytics. And when you go into your YouTube analytics, you want to look for something called impressions. So you can do this at the individual video level. You can also do it at the channel level. But in your case, what you want to do is you want to do this at the video level, because what I'm wanting to show you is proof that YouTube is showing your content to people. So basically what happens is when you publish a video in your YouTube analytics for each individual video, you're going to see the impressions that YouTube is giving that video. An impression is when YouTube shows your video to somebody on the platform for more than a second. So if your thumbnail is visible anywhere on the platform, on a TV, on a phone, on a computer, if it's visible anywhere for more than a second, then that counts as an impression. So the thing is you want to look to confirm that you're getting impressions. If you're getting impressions, then that means that YouTube is trying to show your videos to people. You are just not able to get people to click at this moment in time. Doesn't mean that you're like, doing anything wrong, anything like that. That's just kind of where you're at in the process, because you're just getting started with this stuff again, right? So, and I've been on YouTube for, let's see, rolling up on 9 years now. Wow. So since you've been on YouTube since you started your channel 10 years ago, I can tell you that that a lot has changed in that 10 years. So one of the things that you want to do is go and look at your impressions. And when you look at your impressions, that's going to prove to you that YouTube is or is not, one of the two, showing your videos to people. And then when you see that, let's say that you see that you got 100 impressions. Well, if you got 100 impressions, but you still have 0 views on your videos, what that means is that YouTube showed your videos to 100 people and 0 people clicked on the video. So when it comes to like long form content where you are uploading thumbnails and you're writing titles with the intention of getting people to click, if you can't get people to click, then nothing else can happen on the video. And since you aren't able to get people to click, YouTube will stop giving that video impressions because people just aren't responding to it. I mean, they'll give it to it occasionally, but they'll slow it down massively. So because of that, if you notice that, instead of looking at it like YouTube isn't showing my videos to anybody, then now you're informed with the idea that like, okay, YouTube is now, they are showing my videos to people. So now what I need to do is I need to start really looking at how I'm presenting this content. Like how am I, like, what is it that I'm showing in the thumbnail? What is it that I have for the title? Is there any way I can make this better? Any way that I can help people that are interested in this subject matter, which is beauty in your case, more easily identify that this is about something like that. But you want to start working on those types of things when you see, for anybody here, that if you see that YouTube is giving you impressions, but you're not getting people to click, that's the first place you have to start. Because regardless of how good or bad your videos are, if you can't get people to click, then the buck stops there. So because of that, you have to learn how to get people to click on what it is that you're doing. And you do that by simply helping the viewer by using imagery and or text. If you want to, add text, in some cases, it's helpful. Other cases, it works against you. But by using imagery and or text in your videos to help people identify that your content's about something that they might be interested in, so that it at least grabs their attention. And then from there, work on, your title and making your title clear and informational at first. Like when you're just getting started and you're learning how to do this stuff, work on, trying to just be clear. This is what the video is about. This is what the video is. And then from there, like once you start getting a response from that, start working on like, okay, how can I make this more compelling? How can I make this more enticing for people while still being able to match a legitimate expectation? So when people click on this and they come into the video, they're getting what they expected, so that they'll end up watching for a longer period of time and having a more satisfactory experience with my content. Travis, MVP in the house. What's up, my dude?
My man.
Nice to see you in here.
Yeah. MVP. I'm going to tackle 3 quick questions in the chat. 2
yeah,
questions
go.
in the comments.
Rock and roll.
Looking
forward to seeing you here in a couple of months, Travis.
Question number 1. Poodle, Professor, I use music from the iMovie as a segment of a video, and YouTube said I get a copyright issue. I assumed all iMovie stuff was okay. Yeah, so I made an entire video on this. Don't use the music that comes from the app and from the video services, even though they say it's royalty free. A lot of these apps are coming back and actually claiming. Some people sell the libraries. Some people have fine print that say that you can use it, and they kind of hide this. They say you can use it, and then they tell you that if you're like over a certain channel size, they'll actually come back and claim it. So don't use the money that comes with these programs.
Hey, really quick.
Yeah.
I just want to jump in here really quick, D. So Queen's Favor Ray says, please, I don't understand anything. I'm dropping a link here in the chat. start here.
Well, welcome.
Yeah,
life.
welcome to YouTube.
Yeah, welcome to
so,
YouTube.
So this link that I'm sharing right here, it's youtube.com/creators for those of you that might be listening to this on the podcast. So this particular area is YouTube's like initial education resource for people that are just getting started, and it goes through some like bare bones basics to just kind of help you get like an understanding of, just the platform and stuff. So start there, go there and start, reading through all that. Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. Freedom Lawyer says, should I upload to Rumble? Okay, I have no idea what type of content you're making, but when I see Freedom Lawyer, I've got this mental picture in my head of the type of content that you might be making. So I would say this, try it. Try to upload your content to any platform that you're interested in, because you never know where you're going to find an audience. Especially if you're struggling to build momentum on YouTube, you might find that another platform better identifies your audience. Right? So I would say go there. I would look at some of the other legal channels and see what's succeeding over there and give it a shot, because you never know where you're going to find your audience. And the last comment I want to address here, Celine says, bro, who cares? I'm not going to be too hard on you because you're a young man, but I just looked at your channel, and 8 days ago you uploaded a video and you have 0 views, so you need to be paying attention. I'm finished.
Really quick, Weed Gamer TV 420. We're going to be getting to it here shortly. Like, we're already a decent amount in, and we don't have a ton of questions, so we'll definitely get to it on the stream today. Let's see here. So next up, we've got Bellison Plays. Bellison Plays uploads 1 time per week or more. They've been on YouTube for less than 6 months. The type of channel is a farming simulator gaming channel. The goal of the channel is to amuse my audience that farming simulator isn't just a boring game. And the question is, I've learned that as a starting channel, it's best to be focused on search-based content. But what if you see all these channels in your niche that got a couple thousand subs because of the how-to videos that did well, but then they post the content they actually love and it gets barely any views? Yeah. How can you prevent this from happening? So this is a really good question. So when it comes to the search-based content, the whole idea for that when you're first starting a YouTube channel is it helps, like if you're having trouble, okay, well, let me kind of unpack this a little bit. So when you are first starting a YouTube channel, the reason that people will recommend that you start with like YouTube search is because it's just easier to get traffic there. So because of that, like when people are hopping onto YouTube and they're searching for something, they're actually looking for the videos that you've made, right? However, when you are trying to get traffic from the views from the recommendation system, it's different there because you're competing with everybody else that the system thinks is a good fit for your viewers. So it doesn't matter if they're in your niche or not. If it's a type of content that the people that are interacting with your content typically also enjoy, then you're competing with that content too. So because of that, it's just harder there because there's just a lot more involved with grabbing somebody's attention from them logging onto YouTube, not expecting to watch your content, to you being able to capture their attention and then compel them to come in and watch what it is that you have and then enjoy that experience based on how you packaged it all up. That's a lot more difficult than simply matching a query that somebody's looking for, packaging your video up to help them identify that, hey, this is another video about that particular topic, and you can use the thumbnails and titles that are already in that search result to kind of get started as inspiration there. And then from there, you just have to make a good video that helps people, with whatever thing it is that they're searching for, or gives them whatever it is that they're searching for. So it's just easier that way. But a bonus with that is when you are first starting out, not only is it easier to get traffic there, but the people that are coming into your content from there, like if you are niche down, the people that are coming into your content from YouTube search, those people are looking for it, which means that they're interested in that type of content, which means when they come in and they have a good experience with your content there, YouTube is recording that, and YouTube's like, hey, this type of viewer was looking for this content, they watched this video, and they enjoyed this video. What happens there when that starts happening with people coming into that search-based video is that helps their system fine-tune who that content is also getting recommended to in the recommendation features. So because of that, it just kind of helps train YouTube up on who the perfect fit is for your content. Now, keep in mind, the system's smart enough to take a pretty good stab at who the right people are anyway, but when you take that approach of getting that search traffic first, and it just kind of helps, train the system up, and it just kind of gives you an easier chance to get the click because you're just competing with the other videos that are there for that search result instead instead of competing with an entire mobile feed or an entire homepage, if you're on a computer or TV. So that's why it's typical for people to recommend that if you're just getting started, as long as your content type supports it, that you do make some search-based content while you're working on trying to get recommendation traffic. And keep in mind, based on the type of channel that you have, search traffic might be the long-term win for your channel anyway. Where recommendation traffic, you can get really big gains really fast from recommendation traffic, but when it comes to YouTube search, that traffic is usually a lot more steady in terms of you can count on search traffic for a pretty long time to just bring consistent views into your channel. So if your content type supports it while you're working on the side of things of learning how to get that response off of home pages and suggested videos, going after YouTube search is just kind of like a low-hanging fruit. So that's the idea.
We got a super sticker from Natasha Razor Glam.
Oh, and one more thing here before we go into that.
I hit the wrong button.
Is another part of that is they said that they made videos on the how-to, but then when they put out the content they actually love, it barely gets any views. So a part of that can also be to where they're making the search-based content on the how-tos, but then when they put out the content that they actually love, that content isn't necessarily what the people that they are or who they're making content for. Maybe it's not necessarily a perfect match for those people. So because of that, that could be where the fail point is actually happening in that situation. So, because of that, it's always important. And you're going to hear me say this, and you're going to hear every single person that talks about anything related to YouTube. You're going to hear them talk about the importance of understanding who it is that you're making content for. And the reason for that is because when you understand who it is that you're making content for, it makes all of these types of things easier because then you can better, target them, and you can also come up with ideas that are also a perfect fit for, that audience as well.
Unbelievable.
What happened?
So first of all, I want to thank Natasha for the super chat again.
Thanks, Natasha.
I'm going to say this.
Marcus, my man, hope you're doing great.
Marcus,
hope you're going to
what's going
Vid
on,
Summit.
man?
Haven't seen you in a long time, dude. Hope you're doing fantastic.
Weed Gamer. This is what I was, oh my God, about. Weed Gamer TV 420 says, I had my question in there, but he never got it. Maybe you're just stoned. Maybe we answered
it. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Are you sure we didn't answer your question?
Yeah, he's in space right now.
Yeah. You guys didn't answer my question.
He's out in space driving a Tesla out in space.
Right.
Yeah. He's like, hey, Elon, thanks for the Tesla flying around the moon.
So I just had an epiphany while we were sitting here. Because so for those of you who don't know, so we've got multiple cameras in here, right? Like I've got a camera, which is weird color. Nick's got a camera, and we've got this front camera. And we always have this issue which camera to look at. And they sell these really expensive LED systems to put on the cameras. But the main one, the really one that matters, is this one.
Yep.
So if if Nick is on the solo camera here, Nick should be looking at this camera. And I was just sitting here. When
he's always, you don't see it when on your end, but when he switches to that camera, D goes like this.
I do this.
Yeah, and that lets me know to look over there. Yeah.
We used to have a confidence monitor over here where he could see the change.
Yep.
So I'm sitting here, and it just hit me out of the blue.
Flip. Never mind.
Because I got the cable here, all I have to do is go buy a tiny LED and stick it on this camera and run the cable over here with a switch. That's it.
I mentioned that. I've mentioned that in the past.
Really?
And I mentioned.
I know we talked about buying a system.
Yeah, I mentioned that we have that I can bring over a camera monitor because I have one at the house that I'm not even using. So I can bring over a camera monitor, and then we can I mentioned an HDMI splitter out of the ATEM. So it's a little bit of a different thing.
No, I'm just thinking but, an LED light. It would identify which I could build the system to actually.
Oh, you're saying a light.
An actual light on the camera.
Yeah, what I was talking about.
Light, this is the camera to look at.
Oh, yeah, what I was talking about was just a camera monitor that we would split into, and then I would just set it right here, and I would just be able to see, or right here, and I'd be able to see.
Then I can't build it.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Anyway, I was just sitting here thinking, like, oh my God, I could just, that's just so simple. And I could just set it right here. So as I switch it, because I could get a tactile, so as I hit it, it would just light up.
So how would you build that?
Don't worry about that.
Well, I know, but like, how would you get
I just have to power it. I just have to.
How would you get the light to show up when you switch to that camera?
Because they make little thin switches, little tactile switches, so you could put something on top of this.
Oh,
so I hit it.
So you put it there. Okay.
I could put it there, or I could just stick it here and just click. I could double click it.
I got
or
it.
I could put it there.
Okay.
Yeah, just light that up.
I thought you meant that it would automatically light up, like for example, even if you hit like a macro, that it would still light up, based on
not on
switch.
that. I'm just for a manual switch.
Got it.
Because then I don't have to do this. Because I'm just getting tired. My arm's getting tired.
Got it.
Sorry, we're just working out some stuff live.
Yeah.
Working it out. That's what we do sometimes.
Working it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see here. So
I
next
think
up,
we had another super chat come in. Yeah, we did.
Travis. No, Travis, that was a misunderstanding.
What?
Travis is like, Nick has a house he isn't using? No.
Hey, listen,
Definitely not
Travis,
that. Yeah, I don't have it like that. Yeah.
No, he has it like that,
No,
Travis.
I do not have it like that.
Don't let him fool you, and he won't let me stay there. He has an extra house that he's not using.
I do not. Nope, definitely not.
And he will not let me stay there, Travis.
Do not. Yeah,
and let me
do
tell you
not.
something, Travis. If you were to come
I
over
mean, if
here,
I did, I wouldn't let him stay there, but I don't. Yeah, I don't have that.
since we're talking about that full disclosure, facts here, Nick has wrecked every car I've ever owned.
Yeah. I don't know how that applies to the conversation, but yeah, get it out, man. Get it out. He's been holding on to this for years. Go.
Because you said you wouldn't let me stay. Because you're not.
Okay.
You don't let me stay in your extra house.
Got it.
You've got a whole house that I can't stay in. And I just wanted to let everybody know the type of brother you are. Not only do you not let me stay in a free house.
None of this is true. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh, really? You're going to deny wrecking every car I've ever owned?
No, I'm not going to deny that. But well, actually, yeah, because I didn't wreck it. I didn't wreck your BMW.
Yes, you did.
I got ran into. Totally different. Totally different. Everything else I wrecked, but the BMW I didn't wreck. I got backed into at a gas station. So here's how this went down. Okay, so I wasn't at fault. So I went and got gas. D was coming in. He was actually here in Thailand, I believe, or somewhere in South America. So he's like, hey, pick me up at the airport. I was like, cool. I'm going to, this is when, back when we lived in the States. I was like, hey, I'm going to, take your car to work. And when I like
I
after
didn't
work.
crash it. Somebody backed into me.
Yeah,
it was wrecked. I came back
I was
and my
like,
car was
after
wrecked.
work, I'll come and, pick you up or whatever. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. Just be careful. And I'm like, yeah, no problem, dude. I got this.
Brand new car.
Yeah, brand new BMW 3 Series, gorgeous car.
Brand new.
I take it out. I go to the gas station. I'm driving around like it's mine, sunroof open. I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. And I pull into the gas station. I get gas, and then right as I'm pulling out, this dude just throws his truck in reverse, comes in and just nails the door. So insurance got it all taken care of and all that stuff. But the funny part is,
was that funny?
Yeah, the funny part is that I had
brand new car.
I had to pick D up from the airport, and I'm like hugging D, and in my brain I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I got to tell him that his car is trashed, and he like just got this car. So I'm picking D up at the airport, give him a hug. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Hey man, we're like walking back to the car, and I'm like, hey, I gotta let you know something. So when we get to your car, there's going to be a big dent in the side of it. It's not my fault. Insurance is already, squared away. It's going to be taken care of and blah, blah, blah. And he just laughed. Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, I just went and bought a new car.
Yeah.
No, I didn't buy a new car. So tell them real quick about how you wrecked my truck.
Well, that one...
Is that one your fault? Or is that one not your fault?
That was totally my fault.
Okay.
Totally my fault. So basically that one... our mom,
you guys see what I deal with here?
Yep. So our mom, I didn't even have a license. I was like 14. And my mom was like needing to get out to go to work, right? And she was parked in the garage. Dee's truck was parked behind. And where we lived at the time, like we had this like incline of a driveway.
Understatement.
So what happened was I told my mom, and this was totally my fault, but I told my mom, I said, hey, he's been teaching me how to drive his truck, so I'll just move it so then, you can, get out to work, whatever. And she's like, okay.
I was sleeping.
Yeah, he was asleep. And so she's like, yeah, that's fine. Go ahead. And so I go in and I backed his truck up, and it was a stick shift. And I was slamming on the clutch now that I've, had time to let this sink in. So I'm sitting there and I'm putting my foot down on the clutch as it's going backwards down the hill. And in my brain, I'm thinking that I'm hitting the brake. Because like I said, I'm like 14. I don't even know how to drive. And I'm going down backwards down this hill. And I end up coming down all the way down the driveway, picking up some decent speed, flipping the whole thing around and running over this mailbox that we had at the time that our stepdad...
Explain the mailbox.
Yep, our stepdad got this big drill bit thing.
It was a rock quarry drill bit.
Yeah, so...
And it was drilled like 20 feet into the ground.
We had vandals. We had vandals in our neighborhood that would just drive around and, take ball bats to mailboxes. So to prevent that, our stepdad, he took that big drill bit thing and welded like a big metal thing to it.
Yeah,
it was in there. And I ended up just running right into it and just, completely trashed his truck. It was great. It was great. You
went backwards, spun around,
ran over the thing.
Ran over the mailbox, destroyed the mailbox. And you came in and you had to wake me up.
Yeah, I did.
And what did I do?
Yeah. The fun part of all of these things.
What did I do?
I think you laughed at that time too.
I did.
Actually.
So what we've learned here is when I'm about ready to murder someone.
Yeah, he laughs.
I laugh.
Yeah. Yep. That's what we learned from
that.
So
if you're around me and I'm laughing after you tell me something,
get out of there.
You might not want to be around.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, so
and the play button.
Yep. So there's that too.
Did you wreck my white car?
I don't think so.
I think
no,
you did.
I didn't.
No,
And
you were too young.
yeah, I didn't wreck that. I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't wreck your Cadillac, and I didn't wreck the Prelude that you had either.
You did wreck the Cadillac.
No, I didn't.
Didn't you put the top down? And
No,
smash the
you
window?
put the top down. So basically,
That wasn't my fault. That was yours.
I had my rims that we took off of my
but
car.
But you put them in the trunk.
We put them in the trunk.
You
No,
put
no,
your
no,
rims,
you can't. No,
your
you can't put that
rims
one on
were
me.
in my trunk.
Yeah. So basically, I had custom rims on my car, and I think
Convertible. Let's paint the picture.
Yeah, okay.
I had a mint condition 1972 Cadillac Eldorado that was oxblood red.
Beautiful car.
White leather interior, white drop top on it.
Yep.
His rims were in the trunk.
Yep.
Top goes down.
So I had my rims
Window
stolen.
shatters
I
in
had
the
two
back.
rims stolen off my car. I had to swap them out. So basically, we took two of the rims and we put them, in his trunk of the Caddy because it's a huge trunk, and they were just
like
a
a
little
Coolio
bit too
trunk.
far.
Coolio
Yeah, it
trunk.
was. Yeah, Coolio trunk. Like people could
coming
have just
out.
kept coming out of there. Yeah, pull it up to the beach. 100 people step out of the trunk, but we put these, we put the rims in there, and then when he put the top back, it busted out the glass of his convertible.
All right, that's enough.
But anyway, back to YouTube.
I'm going to
questions
start
here.
laughing again.
Yeah, back to YouTube
Back
questions.
to YouTube questions. This is what I got to deal with, just so everybody knows.
Pentha Grace Cards, Oracle Grace Cards, says that they've been on YouTube for 1 year or more. The type of channel is a mix of card reading and esoteric coaching. The goal of the channel is my story of survival can encourage others. That's awesome. The question is, I'm 1.7 years in, and I feel as if my numbers are low and 70-ish percent of the views aren't subscribed. Where do I even begin to polish my video presentations for better results? Thank you. So in terms of 70% of your viewers not being subscribed, that can be a good thing, because that means that there's people interacting with your channel that can help you grow your channel, right? Because if they're not subscribed, then in that case, you can turn some of them into a subscriber. So that's a good thing. However, when it comes to improving your video presentations and all of that, of course, going into your audience retention reports and just looking to see, anything that you're doing that's causing people to leave would be step number 1. 2, working on your cadence, your speech, your clarity in speech, all those things, can be helpful. One thing that can also be advantageous, and this is going to sound kind of ridiculous, but I always recommend this to people too, is when you are alone in your normal life, let's say you're driving, let's say you're home alone, whatever, speak out loud and practice speaking exactly how you speak in your YouTube videos, and just get really used to doing that. And the whole idea of doing that is when you are just making a YouTube video, just say once a week, you only get to practice that once a week. But if you're doing it every day, then what ends up happening is you start noticing little details about how you're communicating. It could be how you're saying a certain thing. It could be how you're blending certain words together, those sorts of things. And it can just help you identify some of those things to just be able to speak a little bit more clearly. Doesn't mean that, you're going to be perfect, but it just helps you identify some things that you're able to identify just based on, your knowledge of how, you want to present yourself. So I would start with those, and of course use your audience retention reports. Like a big win with YouTube is because we do get our analytics. It can really teach us a lot. Like sometimes we can give ourselves a hard time, and we can be like, hey, I'm not I need to definitely work on my presentation or whatever. But at the end of the day, people might be responding great to you, just how you are and just how you're doing it. You might just need to learn how to edit your videos better, or you might need to learn how to come up with better topics for your videos, or learn how to make better thumbnails and titles for your videos. It's not always your presentation, right? So because of that, that's why it's so important to make sure that you are using your audience retention reports, because it helps you, just kind of get an understanding of how real people all around the world are responding to your content when they interact with it. And then from there, that extra practice that you do just helps you notice things, within yourself as well.
Yeah, a little side note on that. So one thing that I do, we live in Asia, and a lot of you know that in Asia, everybody rides little scooters around, little motorbikes or mopeds, that sort of thing. So he drives a car now. I drive a motorbike around.
Ron Strains and thing says D's lost play buttons probably in my unused house.
Good chance it's hanging on an unused wall, and you just go in and laugh at it from time to time, right? There's a car bumper that you brought over from something you wrecked. So I drive around a lot when I'm going from A to B. I am constantly speaking out loud, trying to find better ways to articulate. So if I'm thinking of an analogy or something that I want to say, or I practice hooks, okay, I've got these video ideas coming up, or I'm gonna do a podcast with somebody, and I know they're gonna want me to introduce myself. I go through and practice things, and I just speak them out loud. I speak them in the same tone that I'm gonna do them when I'm in the video or during the interview or during a podcast, and I just practice saying them out loud. And I do that. Sometimes people will drive next to me and they'll look over at me, and I'm just talking out loud. But by doing that, not only does it help me build confidence and what I'm going to say when I actually do get in front of the camera. But it just helps you with, saying things in general, because you're hearing that out loud and you're trying different ways to say it. I guess actors would take a line and say it all sorts of different ways. So that's how I approach things like, hooks and stuff like that. Practice, practice, practice. If the only time you're speaking and you're trying to articulate these things is when you hit record, I think you're doing yourself a disservice.
Me too.
Yeah, practice this stuff. Go for a walk, practice. Driving in your car, practice saying certain things. Try explaining certain ideas and concepts. And you'll be surprised how well things come together when you actually do hit record.
Absolutely.
Or go live.
Demons Row, thank you for the super chat. Super appreciate it. It says, got a big interview and it's going to be a series. Do you or D know someone that I could go for a 3 or 4 really high-powered thumbnails? I do. If you want to send me a DM on Twitter, then I can connect you. I actually just hired a thumbnail person as well. I can connect you with her, and then they can get you started. They've done 1 thumbnail for me so far, and it was great. So so I can I'm happy to recommend them to you. And then of course if you like them or not, you'll see. But they charge $50 per thumbnail. So just be mindful of that, and make sure you're cool with that. And if so, then send me a message on Twitter. DM, and then I'll connect you to him.
Cutting Force Lawn Service says, I talk to myself all the time. It doesn't get any better. Keep talking.
Yep, keep talking. But don't just talk to yourself. Talk to yourself like you're making a video.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because that's where the difference is.
Yeah.
Because
I'm in
like
full
when
recording. When I'm driving around, I'm in full YouTube mode.
Yeah. Like when you're just having a conversation or you're talking to yourself, it's different than when you're making a video, because when you're making a video, you're trying to communicate naturally, but also say things in a certain way to make sure like your ideas land, or if you're sharing information about anything, to make sure that lands, or to make sure if you're like showing people how to, like, let's say you're trying to show people how to build like a deck, then in that particular case, putting certain emphasis in certain places, when you're explaining things to people, can also just kind of help drive ideas home and stuff like that. So it can really make a big difference when when you get that practice in.
When I make videos or I do interviews or podcasts, I'm always trying to think of the simplest way to explain something using simple words, because I know
and as few words as possible.
And as few words as possible, because I know a large majority of my audience, they're in countries where English is not the first language. So I'm trying to keep in mind, okay, not everybody's going to understand exactly what I'm saying. So I kind of simplify things a little bit. So those are the things that I'm always practicing. Yeah. And I say it in full YouTube volume, full live stream volume, as if I was there hitting record and I'm trying to articulate that statement.
Right.
And it works really well. I mean, not that I don't fumble over my words, but like,
sure,
I would fumble over a lot more if I didn't do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's another thing. I'm really bad at that, so I have to practice.
Pee-wee Penguin is our next question. They upload bi-weekly. They do gaming content. The goal of the channel is to make entertaining content and to build a following on YouTube. The question is, my question is whether or not I have to strictly stay into a very specific niche in order to gain any sort of beginning following. So what YouTube recommends is when you're first getting started to experiment with different types of content that you are passionate about and that you love to make. And then as soon as you see something start to do better, then that's where you have, YouTube's identified, those people that, respond to that. And then you're supposed to double down in that particular direction, which is why it's so important to just make videos about things that you are passionate about, in those beginning stages. However, you can also do it the other way, to where if you know what it is you're trying to accomplish, and because you know what you're trying to accomplish, who it is that you want to be watching your videos, then in that particular case, you can identify or build that avatar like before you even start your channel. And then every piece of content that you make, just simply run it through the filter of, not necessarily the niche, but run it through the filter of, is this piece of content going to be a good fit for that person that I'm trying to reach? Is this going to be something that they can enjoy, or something that they can learn, or something they'll find funny? With the references that I make in this video, if you're doing gaming content, but like, with the people that I'm trying to reach, with the references that I'm going to make, are those references going to land with the people, in terms of the age brackets that I'm going after, right? So just making sure that you're thinking of just who it is that you're trying to target. So an example I like to give for this, since you're watching, my content, is, for me, since I serve YouTube content creators, mostly people that are just getting started started with YouTube, then in that particular case, when I am, coming up with a video idea and I'm like, okay, well, since this is going to be, I was actually just having a conversation with another YouTube help channel the other day about this. When I am explaining things and I know that particular video is specifically targeted towards somebody that's like just getting started, then in that case, if I mention CTR, then I'll say that it's click-through rate. Or if I mention audience retention, I might say audience retention or, your average view duration. And then I'll follow it up with your audience retention reports is a second-by-second report that YouTube gives us to let us know how people respond to our videos. So then, by knowing who it is that I'm targeting with that content or the channel as a whole, it helps me be able to better explain things to people based on where they are in the process. However, when I do some of my monetization live streams, that's a little bit different because the people that are coming into those streams, the people that will get the most benefit out of those streams aren't people that are just brand new on YouTube. Those people have a little bit more experience and they're trying to figure out how to make money. So since they already have a little bit more experience, I make the assumption that they already know about some of those things that I make sure to explain to new content creators. And then I just focus on the money aspects of it in different ways that they can make money. And then I'll explain some of those concepts since the people that are hanging out in those streams are trying to figure out that. So, so when you know who it is that you're after with your content, then you can kind of, cater to the people that you're trying to reach. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it like locks you down, so to speak, into like, a niche or a game in your case. It's more about like, what am I trying to do and who is it that I'm trying to reach with this? So for example, in your case, since you do gaming content, if you're like, hey, I'm going to make, the best Fortnite channel on YouTube. I'm going to be sharing like tips and tricks for people that are trying to learn how to play Fortnite. And as part of that, I'm also going to have like these live streams that I do to where, my viewers can come and play the game with me. Then in that particular case, you would just make sure that every video that you upload is some type of, tip or trick or how to, or some type of, thing that about Fortnite. And then when you do your live streams, then of course you would be trying to get people that are interacting with your videos to come over and hang out in your live streams so they could play. And then that would be the place where you would build those deeper connections with the people that are watching and playing with you to, get them more involved with what it is that you're doing as well. So it's more about that than it is about, like, okay, I'm making videos about this game, so I have to always make videos about this game, right? It's more about who you're trying to serve. Because, like with a gaming channel, like let's say, for example, you are playing Fortnite. Well, if you're playing Fortnite, there's other games that people that play Fortnite also like to play, or that have played before, or that they'll probably end up playing, somewhere down the road. And when you can figure that out based on you hanging out, which you should do in like Fortnite communities online on Reddit, Facebook, Discord, anywhere else where they hang out, by, getting some crossover information like, hey, what other games do you guys play besides Fortnite? And then tallying all that stuff up. And then when you decide to play another game, then in that case, you've already done the research to figure out that it's a good fit for, people that also play Fortnite. So then you can, also, play that game as well. So it's more about who it is that you're trying to reach with the content than it is about, necessarily, locking yourself into, a very specific thing. But there's power in that, niche, but it's more about, the people that are watching than it is about the very specific content. Another example of this that I like to give as well is like, with my type of content, because I teach people how to, navigate YouTube. I could still make skits on my channel. I could do like skits shorts, for example. And if I did that, it would be about things that you as a YouTube content creator would find funny or interesting, instead of it being about like politics or about, pop culture in some way or something like that. It would be about things that YouTube content creators would find interesting or funny. And then by doing that, the people that would be watching my videos, every single one of them would also be a candidate to watch and get value from my regular content that I put out on the channel. So that's kind of the idea.
So you missed a super chat.
Okay. Looks like a few of them came in here.
Yeah. So the first one, dreams becomes wings.
Okay, dreams become wings. What's the... Here, let me go into mission control here.
Do you think videos would be judged differently without a view count? Would we choose other videos to watch without judging them?
Probably.
According to their views.
So some people will look at views, when they click into something. Other people will just click into it. So, like part of it, I think as a content creator, I think we obsess over some of those things way too much than we should. So, they're all good questions to ask, of course. But like when it comes to, people choosing to watch a video, they're choosing to watch that video mostly based on, whatever the topic is and whatever it is that grabbed their attention, whatever it is that you're going to, say in the title. But then when they see the view count, if they're like, wow, this also has millions of views on it, then in that particular case, that's just one more reinforcement for something that they were already interested in the first place, right? But If it doesn't have that, 1.5 million views on it or whatever, then in that particular case, they might still come in and watch the video because, they've already, because they're interested in the actual, topic, and you've grabbed their attention with it. Great question.
Are there super chats?
Let's see here. Yeah, I'm going through the list in here too. So next up, we did Panda. What was the name of that one?
That was Dreams Become Wings.
Okay, we also had another one that came in from Home Rapid Repair. Said, I'm still thinking about live streams for home improvement questions. After a live, do we have to set something for the video on demand? So yes, when it comes to your live streams, and sorry I missed this. This was like 25 minutes ago. So when it comes to the live stream settings, you can set the video when you are schedule it first. Then after you schedule it, you can go into the video settings itself by going through the content path, or you can click on the little create icon and then hit go live, and then it's going to take you into the scheduled stream there. That's going to have some options in there for you. And then if you click on the edit button, then it's going to take you back into the video details area, just like if you were taking the content path. And in there, you have to make sure that the box is checked to not remove it from public view. So basically, I think the language they use is to set the video as unlisted. You know what? I might be able, because I have that open right now. I'm going to see the exact language here for you. So the language is unlist live replay once stream ends. Is what you want to make sure is unselected, because if it's selected by default, then once your live stream ends, it's going to default down to unlisted. But as long as you slide that in the other direction, then you're not going to have to worry about that at all. So you just want to make sure that you set that up. And once you set it up for one live stream, it should ripple through the rest of them that you do. The only thing that seems to fluctuate is the live chat replay. At least on my channel and the other channels that I stream on, anytime I do a live stream, I go in and I double check the live stream replay for the chat option, so that I can make sure that the chat is still there, unless it's a piece of content that I know I'm going to be editing later.
I want to say this really quick. In terms of Demon Row, where they're talking about hiring a thumbnail editor, you could definitely try that, but just on a personal note, I'd
try what?
Hiring a thumbnail editor. Thumbnail creator. I just think your thumbnails look awesome.
They do look awesome.
Yeah, just my personal opinion.
Yeah, if you're doing your thumbnails now, they look incredible.
Yeah. I just don't sell yourself short. I think your thumbnails look great, and your channel's growing.
But with that said, though,
try it, test it.
Yeah, one of the reasons that I hired somebody is because I've been making my thumbnails for pretty much forever. So I'm like, okay, let me try somebody else, because they might be able to do it better than I can. So because of that, just giving it a shot, seeing how they turn out, seeing how they perform, and if they do better, then then she'll have a job making thumbnails for quite some time.
Renee Ritchie's in the house. YouTube's Creator Lesion.
Hope you're doing awesome, Renee.
Yep. Okay, who's excited, Renee, about Ahsoka? Have you seen the trailer for Ahsoka?
I haven't.
It looks so good.
Does it?
It looks so good.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Yes. It dropped the other day.
Yeah, I'll watch it tonight, actually.
Well, no, it's a trailer. It's not out yet.
Well, I know, but I'll watch the trailer. Yeah, I'll watch the trailer. Yeah. So living in Omaha, David Matney says, will you guys see any difference in CTR with each of your thumbnails in today's live stream? Absolutely. So even though we have, clearly I'm way more handsome than D is. So because of that, I'll probably get a better response just based on that alone. But no, I'm just kidding. So, different people are going to see the different thumbnails. So because of that, we'll definitely get a difference there.
Yeah. So I haven't been uploading to my channel for a while. So my overall views for live streams are not that good. But what we did notice is when we first started doing the dual streams like this, I think we have 2 or so that had his picture in it, but and those had a really low turnout out of the gate. As soon as I put my picture in it, my audience identified, oh, that's D. So because a lot of times people don't even read titles; they're just scrolling and they see an image sometimes,
right?
And so they make that visual identification. So yeah, it definitely helps.
The next question here is from Tommy T's Extreme Roller Coaster. Says, my favorite bros on YouTube. No questions today, gents. Just enjoying the live stream today. Thank you for that. Super appreciated.
Appreciate it.
The Crypto channel says, I want to have an entertaining portrait oil painting channel. How can I make videos that hold attention? The videos would have clips as the painting progresses. I need ideas to pull it all together. So in that case, you could either teach people how to paint, and then your paints would be that process. You could do time-lapse paintings of those and just make them like YouTube shorts, to where it's just interesting to watch the painting come together quickly. That might be the very first thing to try, just because, with shorts, that might be something that would be really appropriate for there, compared to trying to get the long form views to watch like a 5-minute time lapse compared to like a minute time lapse. So I would definitely experiment between those two things. Also, maybe just showing, you know, instead of like a time lapse, just having like an explanation. That would definitely be something to try, to where you're like, hey, you know, in this particular part of the painting, you know, the reason I did this and this and this is because of this, this, and the other thing. The reason I use these colors is this, blah, blah, blah. And then kind of do that for each different block of the painting itself. That might be something to try. Those are some ideas that I have. D, you have anything?
I wasn't listening. I was answering a message that came in.
Oh, okay, no problem. Says, I want to have an entertaining portrait oil painting channel.
Yep.
How can I make videos that hold attention? The videos would have clips as the painting progresses. I need ideas to pull it all together.
Okay, my advice for you would be to look at channels that are dominating that niche and go look to see what they're doing, because they've obviously tapped into the market that's watching
Great
that
recommendation.
Sort of, yeah, right. Their audience is looking for that sort of content. Look to see. I mean, look at the pacing, look at the editing, look how they start the video. Is there music? Do they not have music? What type of music do they use? Look at what they're doing and say, okay, well, this is how they're succeeding. Is there anything I could add to this to add my own little twist on it to make myself stand out just a little bit differently? I mean, you could do like, I'm just throwing this out there.
Yeah,
like say you're watching one of these channels
and
let's just say that they're not speaking, and I don't know what you're planning on doing, but let's say they're not speaking and they've got some upbeat music and they're just got the painting or whatever. You know, what if you did all of that same stuff, but maybe you focused on people who are interested in like meditation, and you've got meditation music on there, and it's just a lot more chill with the oil painting, a lot more slower movements.
Or all ASMR where you mic up everything real close to the painting, and it's like
totally.
And then you take it into like some audio processing software and you beef everything up so it just really rings.
Yeah. Look at what's succeeding already and let that give you some ideas of what you might be able to do differently to stand out in that niche.
Boom. Demons Roast says, if you had a 4-part documentary, how would you drop it? Once a week, a couple of days apart? I've never done something with this production value. I would do once a week. If it was me, I would do it once a week just for the sake of, you know, for that. I might actually, like, I would have to actually see the content and see how it goes together. But I might actually drop the first 2 and then have the next 2 start like the following week or something like that. And the reason for that is to see if I could get people binge watching from one to the next. And if I could, and they were finishing that second one too, depending on how long they are is the reason that I'm thinking this, is like if they come in and they watch that first one, you can get them to also watch that second one and watch that one in its entirety. Then that means they're primed for that third one, like right there too. So then in that case, maybe I would publish that third one faster. And then the same thing, you know, kind of rinse and repeat that idea with the fourth. But if you find like, hey, people are coming in, they're watching this first one, they're getting about halfway through the second one, then in that case, you know, I would space it out and then drop the, you know, third and the fourth one like a week apart. That's what I would experiment with first. Not sure it's the right way, but that's what I would do. Autismina's cleaning clutter says, most of my comments on other channel videos don't get posted. Do you know why that is? Is it because my channel is new? It's not spam comments. So it's possible that they're being posted, but the content creator has like trigger words that maybe are in there that they add to their own blocked words list. And because of that, it can cause YouTube's system to, you know, automatically hide those from public view. So it just depends on exactly what it is that you're saying. They don't have to be spam, but, you know, like me, for example, I have very specific words that, you know, when people come in and use them in the comment section, it typically means they're trying to get people over their channels or, you know, something like that. They're trying to siphon people here. So because of that, I'll add very specific words that when people drop those types of comments into my comment section, it will automatically hold them for review, and the commenter will see them, and it'll look to them like they're there. But in reality, for everybody else, the comment's not actually there. It's in my held for review section.
Fun fact, Nick loves to block words like D's play button, D's car crashes.
Totally.
He likes to D.
Yeah,
block
that's
those.
a good one. Yeah.
So RM just
so people are like, hey, how's your brother D? Gone.
Yep. RM just mentions What Dreams May Come. That's that's one of my top 10 favorite movies. I absolutely love that movie.
It's a good movie. I haven't watched that in a really long time.
It's so tragic.
I
love it.
All right, next up.
I mean, it's not Interstellar, but
yeah, I mean, hey,
love it.
Yeah.
Not Empire Strikes Back.
I mean, right, but hey.
I mean,
yeah,
it's not bad.
Joshua Oregon says they upload when they have time. They've been on YouTube for 1 year or more. They do tech content. The goal of the channel is to address niche or unusual questions in tech. And the question is, I'm looking to pivot away from tech into walking video tours. Would it be better to make a new channel instead? Also, any gear recommendations for walking tour videos? Thanks. So a pivot like that, I personally think is pretty heavy. People pivot channels all the time, and you can do that successfully. However, if you have people that are coming there just to watch you, and they're just like, hey, whatever this person does, like, I'm there for it, then in that case, if you have a lot of those people, then in that case, it can be easier to just, pivot over into something else. But with what you're doing, there's such a huge gap between the two different types of content. If it was me, I would start a new channel for the walking tour, and I would let the tech thing, just kind of live on its own. And then, maybe even occasionally upload to it or whatever if you wanted to. But if it was me, I would do a separate channel for the walking tour. Like if I was going to do that with this channel, for example, if I was like, hey, D, tomorrow change into walking tours, then in that case, I would do it on a different channel instead of trying to move this boat in that direction.
I would not be interested in watching you walk.
Yeah, I know. Me neither. I wouldn't be interested in watching you walk either.
I
wouldn't be interested in walking. So how's that?
Yeah. Because I let you walk first is kind of like a canary in the coal mine, because I figure if something bad's going to happen or the floor is going to break, Nick's going to walk through it first.
If somebody's falling in the escalator, it's going to be me.
Yeah, if the escalator things and somebody's going to fall into the escalator grinder, or if there's going to be an attack, somebody's going to be around the corner, I let him walk first. So I watch you walk all the time. Not interested in watching you walk around the city.
Yeah, it's good.
Just putting that out there.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
But if we did, I would still let you walk first.
Yeah.
Just in case the sewer grate opened up and you fell in or you twisted your ankle or
just
something.
so you make sure you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Smart.
Yeah. We would have a Nick ready to fall cam.
Yeah. Nick ready to fall cam, and then basically a whole channel of like falls and trips and stumbles. And Pixie Dust Traveler says they upload one time per year or one time per week or more. They do travel content. The goal of the channel is to provide a resource for travelers to research destinations before they travel and to make it my full-time job. And the question is, I noticed several of my shorts are getting copyright claims with Epidemic Sound music that's supposed to be copyright free. Can I dispute it? And is it worth it? How many claims do you get before being penalized? So when it comes to copyright claims on your videos, claims are fine because it just means that they're claiming the revenue from your video. So then it's basically taking away your ability to earn on that content that is, getting claimed. However, when it comes to Epidemic Sound, if you're paying the subscription for them and you are an active paying customer, basically you're paying them monthly and you are still paying them monthly, then in that case, all you have to do is shoot them an email and they'll get it taken care of. However, if you downloaded a bunch of music and then you canceled your subscription and then you're now uploading videos with that music, then in that particular case, they are going to claim it and you're not going to be able to get them to reverse that. So because of that, just keep in mind that when you are a Epidemic Sound customer, that in order to not have any problems with your music at the time of upload, you have to make sure that you are still a paying customer at the time of upload. So keep that in mind. Or what else could they do, D?
They could use, let me put it up on the screen. They could use our free music service called creatormix.com.
Yep.
Small library, but totally free. We're not going to claim you. If you ever get a claim, it's going to be false and you can dispute it.
Yep.
You can use that on shorts. You can use that anywhere.
Yep.
Anywhere. You can go to the website, sign up, and download that music. So we have just a random question. So somebody in the chat, AB Cami, is saying they have the Sony ZV-1. That's actually what we're using on the side cameras.
Yeah, both of these are ZV-1s.
The Sony ZV-1. And they're asking, they said my last two videos were very disappointing, a new camera. So they were asking about the camera settings. Here's what I recommend you do. Go to YouTube, type in best settings for Sony ZV-1.
Boom.
You could even say best vlog settings for ZV-1. There's a good chance somebody like Jevin Dovey is going to have the best vlog settings for ZV-1. It's out there. Go to YouTube, use it for like a search engine. You will find the answer for that.
So Pixie Dust Traveler says Epidemic Sound says it won't affect their revenue, but I don't know. It says short term. Yeah, so because of that, hit them up again and say, no, I want you to remove the claim.
Yeah.
Say this is a song that I purchased, I'm a paying customer. I purchased this, I'm a paying customer so that I don't have these problems. I need you to remove this claim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you have, as part of their agreement, you have the right to use that. And I would not let down on that one.
Yeah. If you're paying for them, and they've put a copyright claim on your video, and they're saying it's not going to affect your revenue, that is false.
Yeah.
The claim is on the video.
Yeah.
The only way they're going to collect the revenue unless you have that claim removed. So maybe they didn't understand it the way you explained it to them. Take a screenshot of the claim and send that to them.
Yes. So here, next up on our list, we're on number 23 already. So we've got the Power of Purpose is our next channel here. They do personal growth and well-being content. The goal of the channel is to give people the tools and skills to manage life's challenges. It's a good service. The question is, my last 2 live streams have done well in terms of replay views, no live chatters. These were deep dives on mental health topics. Would they do better in terms of reaching more people if I made them as VODs rather than live streams? Experiment with them, but one thing that I want to tell you, like experiment, try doing the same thing just as a piece of, video content. But, keep in mind that, live streams can do awesome over time. So as long as they're structured right, as long as, people are getting some type of value out of them when they come in and they just have a good experience to where it's just something satisfactory on their end, then YouTube's got to detect that and YouTube will just show them to more people like those people. And as long as they, keep enjoying the content, it'll keep doing well. So because of that, I wouldn't necessarily take them down and then re-upload them or anything, but maybe experiment with making some VOD versions to where it's like, hey, I'm going to make a new piece of content, but I'm just going to record it and then upload it later instead of doing it live and then having it available there, and just see if you notice a difference over time. One thing I can tell you is I've done this experiment a lot with video content, live streams, and all of that. Doesn't seem to make a difference as long as the topic's great in terms of long term on the content. But that only comes down to content that's formatted to compete with regular video content. So these streams, they don't do that great on the they do great, on the live stream, but they don't do really good. So because of that, these streams, they're just not, they're not formatted for that experience. People still get value, people still will listen to them on the replays and stuff like that when they have time because they couldn't join. However, somebody new that's never, interacted with my content before, a 3-hour live stream replay, huge ask. Plus the formatting, the way it starts and the way we get people into the content and all that stuff, it's just not a great, it's not the perfect experience for the replay. It's good enough, but it's not the it's good enough to still do well after the stream is over, but it's not, it's not a perfect piece of content for, for getting, 100 or 200,000 views on it. So
it looks like there's some shenanigans that are taking place with shorts in music that I wasn't aware of with some of the stock music companies. Doug said he has a video coming on it. He's talking about they're sharing the split, and Renee chimed in, YouTube's creator liaison, and he says shorts will have claims on them because of how music licensing is handled. Yeah, I knew that coming from the actual audio library, music that's available for shorts. But here's the thing. He says, and even some stock music companies seem to want to put claims on them, so they'll show up on the music page for that track. That is sleazy. Listen, I don't know who's doing that, but Epidemic Sound, Artlist, or whoever, if you're doing that, you're sleazy. Yeah, totally. You're sleazy if you were doing that. Yeah. But he says for stock company, like Epidemic Sound right here. So he says for stock companies, you can sometimes get them to whitelist your channel. Yeah. Thank you for mentioning that, because I forgot to mention that on the Epidemic Sound side. Epidemic Sound that she's having this problem with, they are one of the companies that you can do that. To where basically you go into your settings and then you can add your YouTube channel, and then you should be good to go from there. But yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that was happening either. Plus they get I didn't know that was happening. That is really sleazy. Yeah, that is really sleazy. That is. I don't know exactly who's doing that, but that is super, here's what I'm going to do. If I find out Epidemic Sound is doing that, making a video, membership's canceled. Membership's canceled, and I'm going to make a video saying I'll call them out. I don't have a problem calling somebody out if that's what they're doing. Shark Scrapper does daily content. The type of channel is scrapping old products. The goal of the channel is to grow a community. Man, that's crappy. The question is, D, you mentioned it, and we're all curious. Outside of Creator Mix, where else are you uploading since it's not your channel? Hey, man, privacy here, right? Go ahead, D. Yeah, I'll tell you in private. Yeah. So House of Jesse is our next channel. They've been on YouTube for less than 6 months. The type of channel is lifestyle and multiple focus. The goal of the channel is share life experiences and learnings on various topics like finances, family life, business, and Teslas. The question is, our YouTube channel doesn't focus on one specific topic, as we focus on multiple things that affect our family and lives, like finances, businesses, our Teslas, family life, relationships. One-off topics here and there might be important. Is it possible to have a second channel with multiple focuses, topics, and how would you recommend to handle video uploads if we're uploading 1 to 2 times per week? So the thing is, and I mentioned this earlier too,
Like when it comes to the uploads on your channel, absolutely. Like anybody can upload a bunch of random stuff to their YouTube channel, and they can have some videos that that are successful and they kind of drive the channel while they continue to upload additional things to it. And each thing might find its own audience and things like that. That's absolutely something that is possible. However, the whole idea about niching down with something and having like a very specific thing that you offer from your channel, the whole reason for that is because it kind of helps accelerate things. And it also, is just super clear for YouTube over time. Like, when you have like an archive of content that a certain group of people continuously respond to over a long period of time, then it becomes really easy for the system to just like nail your audience with everything that you upload. And then from there, you just have to learn how to get people to like click on it and all that. But like there's tons of power in that, clear focus of a very specific audience in everything like this, not just YouTube, but in like YouTube and marketing, even if you're like an artist and you're making music, same exact thing, right? Like you have that following that, ends up liking your music, and they like that music because of the style that you have with that music. That's why you see when people put out like new stuff and it's different, a lot of their user base is like, oh man, this new stuff is like garbage. And then you'll have some of the core people that will love it anyway, but you'll have people that will even give them a hard time, even though they are still putting out like amazing music, because it's not what they were, that's not what they signed up for as a fan, right? So because of that, it's just important to make sure that you just remember that idea. But, you can absolutely grow channels, with variety content. It's just a lot easier, if you do niche down for a very specific type of viewer. But one thing to keep in mind is that I see that your content is more about like your, things that affect your family, like your finances, your businesses, your Teslas, your family life, your relationships. So it sounds like you're making more of like a family vlog of some kind. So, in that particular case, your whole thing could be like, hey, we're trying to reach people that are interested in family vlogs. And if you identify that, then in that case, then that's where you say, okay, well, if this is who we're trying to go after, then how do we need to structure and present everything in a way that makes it a great fit for those people, right? And then that opens you up to talk about, a lot more things, just based on, the way that you're, presenting the content for the people that are interested in that. So I just consider all of that.
So Doug says he's got receipts on all of this and he's making a video on it.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, so Doug, send me that. Send me that so I can share it when you publish it.
Yeah, me too. I'll share it too.
Yeah, I didn't know this was going on, so there's obviously some shenanigans taking place.
No.
Yeah, get the word out, man, as always.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, music sound pages. If you click on a sound on a short, it'll take you to a page that shows all the other shorts that use that sound. So you may see traffic from those pages.
So that's what they're doing. Apparently, they're like, okay, we're going to claim it, share the rev share with you. And then they
get all those plays on all of the other stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's so dirty.
Yeah, creepy.
That is
not
so
creepy,
dirty.
but dirty.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to do that to you with Creator Mix.
Yep.
We don't have that big of a library, but we're not going to do that to you.
Yep.
Just put our website or YouTube channel in your description and you're fine.
Yep.
Musicbycreatormix.com.
Yep. Technically, you don't even have to do that, but yeah, it's just appreciated.
But do that. Do that.
Yeah. Build with Mooney says they upload one time per week or more. They've been making videos for less than 6 months. They do woodworking content. The goal of the channel is to pass on information, have fun in retirement, but I want to build my channel right. Question, I'm pumping out shorts right now to grow my channel, and I've noticed through my data that my viewers like ASMR style videos. Cut up some of my current videos to make a few ASMR woodworking videos, and it seems to be working. My question is, can I add my new ASMR tab for my long form videos since shorts can't be sorted out? Hold on. My question is, can I add a new ASMR tab for my long form videos since shorts can't be sorted out? So if the question you're asking is if you can kind of sort or group all of your ASMR long form videos together, yes, absolutely, you can do that through playlists. So you can create a new playlist on your channel, and when you create a new playlist, you can do this for shorts if you want to. You can do it for long form content. You can mix them if you want. But basically, you make the playlist, and then you just add whatever videos that you want in that playlist. So for example, since this is like woodworking stuff, you could have like, hey, here's my ASMR videos around tables or using saws if we're doing sounds. Here's my sandpaper videos. Here are the videos where, I'm kind of scraping on wood with something, like those types of things. You can categorize it that way, or you can just say ASMR and let people go that way. And you can do all of the above as well. But you can do this for your short form content, and you can do it for your long form content as well.
Fun fact, I have a hidden ASMR channel.
He does.
It's actually how I learned.
Is that still public?
It is.
Oh,
I don't
nice.
upload to it. That's how I learned about YouTube. And I decided that I was going to make a YouTube channel. I was like, well, I don't want to start a channel and just kind of fumble it out of the gate because he was so successful and I don't want to look like an idiot and embarrass him. So
That didn't work.
I'm
just kidding. Oh, go ahead.
I'm good. No, so I built a channel there and I grew it to like 500 subscribers just to learn how to put playlists together and get the thumbnail. You basically
Learn how to use the system.
Learn how to use the system on that channel. And once I was like, okay, I got it, then started making content on my main channel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Home Rapid Repair says, we did daily shorts and weekly videos for 7 months. Now testing taking a break on the daily shorts, and the regular videos out there seem to be doing better. Thoughts? So yeah, people are just continuing to respond to the long form content would be my thought. I wouldn't say that it's related, to your shorts content. I would just say that, people are enjoying, that long form content. It's important to remember when you're thinking of long term and shorts that people are consuming them, in different ways. Yes, you can still find shorts in search. Yes, you can still get recommended shorts on your homepage. Yes, they come up, in suggested videos sometimes, but mostly people are responding to them or people are consuming them in the shorts feed. So because of that, it's just different viewers, interacting with the platform in different ways at different times. So, one doesn't necessarily, impact the other one outside of if you end up doing like a remix of your own short and, you sample out that section of your short and then that you're out of your long form video and you make it into a short that ends up blowing up. And then in that particular case, you're going to have a certain percentage of those people that will follow it over to the long form video. It can impact that way. But in terms of, we're not publishing shorts now. So then now our long form videos are like doing awesome. In that particular case, I would say that it's an unrelated thing. Next up, Weed Gamer TV 420. We got to your question, man. Here we are. Hope you're still here. You still here?
Finally to it.
Yep. You still here? Says, let's see here. Business Growth Ready says, Dear ASMR channel, I didn't hear about it. Ba-doom, bah. That's good. That's good. Okay, yeah, you're still here. Okay, so let's hear. So they do gaming content. The goal is to become a big YouTuber and make a goal out of being a YouTuber and entertain people on the YouTube platform. The question is, I was wondering if Nick can promote my channel by passing out flyers to strangers in the community to help grow my channel. Absolutely not. I thought that you were going to have like a real question, but it was a troll question instead. That was great. Yeah, so no. Yeah, I'm not going to pass out flyers to the strangers in the community. I mean, you know what? I mean, you could send me some flyers, I guess. I mean, I could probably hand them out to a couple people, maybe leave a stack of them sitting somewhere. But we're in Asia, so it's probably not, the audience that you're looking for. This is not the audience that you're looking for over here. So that's funny, though. Let's see here. Next up, we got no channel yet. The question is, please address a pet peeve of mine as a viewer. Oh, this is going to be good.
Oh, boy.
So I'm watching a video last night, really into the if you've made it this far into this live stream as a viewer, I just want to high five you. Like if you're not a YouTuber and you've made it this far, just like massive high fives. But so I'm watching a video last night. I'm really into the content, enjoying the presenter's information. But every minute or so, he inserts a movie or TV meme. I don't need a clip from a Jim Carrey movie or an Office meme to understand the point he's trying to make. I watch a lot of YouTube content, and I find about 1 in 4 creators doing this. Please stop. This trend is so played out, it interrupts the flow of the videos and makes me much less likely to subscribe to these channels. Your thoughts? Great question. So my guess is that you're probably just not the demographic for those videos. Like you're probably not the people that they're trying to reach because, if they're doing that, if they're a successful channel, then in that case, they've learned over time that people do respond to those types of things. That's why it's played out. Usually when something works well on YouTube, you'll see it a lot. So for example, like the YouTube face that people use in thumbnails, things like that, there's certain things that are effective here. And because of that, people will use them a lot. So one thing that as a viewer you might not understand is that a lot of people will not only use those as a way to kind of support what it is, like if they say something funny, they might use something like that to support the laugh or the joke, but people will also use those as pattern interrupts. There's something called a pattern interrupt, which is basically where the video is going on and on and on, and then they throw in this thing to kind of shake things up a little bit and kind of distract you from what's going on, and then once that's over, then they re-engage you in the video and then keep going. And doing doing those types of things can cause people to watch videos longer without realizing that they are, that they're kind of going through a process that somebody has crafted in their video. So because of that, I would just watch channels that don't have that if it's something that you're not into. And for the channels that do have that, like as long as, other people are responding to what it is that they're doing, then I would say those people are more the people that they're trying to reach, other than you.
I gotta say, I like a good meme in a video.
Yeah, it depends on what it is.
It depends on what it is, and it depends on if it's like a tutorial or something. I don't want it full of memes, but if they say something and make a crack a joke and then do like a 3
they got
second,
like Will Ferrell in there saying something funny.
Yeah. It's just like a meme, or I'm like, oh, well played. Especially if the meme is from like a movie that I appreciate.
Yeah,
that's the win.
Yeah,
and that's part of the thing of like finding your tribe and finding your audience is finding people who relate to the same things that you relate to.
Right.
So if you make conversations about certain types of music or movie references or movies or whatever it is, those people might gravitate towards each other in your community because you all like the same thing.
Yeah.
So if somebody's putting memes in there of some of my favorite movies, I'm like, oh man, yeah.
I love how Renee just explained this. He said memes are the punctuation of internet culture.
Oh,
love it.
So good.
Yeah, it's great.
That's why he was hired as the YouTube liaison.
Yeah.
YouTube liaison.
Hey, liaison.
He's the liaison.
Liaison.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up we've got how we got here. Genealogy. What's up, Brian? Hope you're doing awesome. Says they do history and geology content. The goal of the channel is to help people understand history by understanding their own family story. The question is, the last 2 years I took a long break summer due to medical and personal reasons. I'm trying not to do that this year, so I'm moving my biweekly live streams to weekly, but I haven't found the best time yet. Is there any way to find the best times other than trial error? My streams, while live, can go from 0 to 20 viewers live, but will gain traction on replays, but the replays do not get as many views as my typical videos. What can I do to improve post live views, and how can I attract and engage my audience better during streams? By the way, I love that StreamYard makes my life easier. Awesome. Love that you're using StreamYard. So two things here. Basically, the issues are when is the best time to live stream, essentially, is one of the questions. And the other one is how do I get better performance on the replays? So when it comes to the best time to stream is when your viewers are online. So because of that, you want to go into your YouTube analytics at the channel level and then go to your audience tab and scroll down, and YouTube is going to show you that graph of when people are online. So you want to go live when you are at the dark purple there. So if you're publishing a video, the typical best practice is you publish, like as people are coming on so you can ride that wave. But then when it's a live stream, it's different because you need people to be online to be able to participate if you want them in there while they're live. So you want to make sure you're going live while people are online. But as a mix of that, you also want to make sure that you're going live, like for the people that are interested in your content. Like for example, I'm going to guess, with genealogy content, it's probably like an older demographic that's into that. So, and I don't mean like old, I just mean like an older, demographic. So because of that, you probably wouldn't want to go live at like 1 a.m. as an example, right? Because everybody's probably in bed so they can get up and work the next day. So just going in and using your analytics on that in that audience graph to see when people are online, that's the play for going live. The next thing is getting more views on the replay. So when it comes to the replay, remember that when you are making a piece of video content, it's put together in a much more tight package. So, everything's edited out, you edit, like boring parts, you might even remove boring parts. You'll even say things multiple times, possibly in order to make sure that you get a good take and that you're able to express the ideas that you have, appropriately or in the way that you want. And because of that, a packaged video or an edited video is just a different experience than watching a live stream replay. So because of that, if you want to improve the live stream replays, the first thing you have to think about is structure. So, and I mentioned this a lot in terms of like if you are welcoming people to the stream and things like that, make sure you do all that stuff at the beginning and then have a clear cut point so you can go in and edit the live stream once it's complete and you can cut out all that stuff. So basically you would have all of that kind of settling in stuff where you're just kind of, getting yourself kind of in the zone and you're having any interaction with the people that are, coming into your live stream. And then at some point before you start getting into the actual content, you say, if you're just joining us, today we are blah, blah, blah. And then you explain what it is that you're going to be doing in that particular live stream or what you're going to be looking at. And you want to make sure that you're thinking about that particular part of the reset is what that's called in that scenario. You want to make sure that you're thinking about that through the lens of, okay, whatever I say here when I'm doing this reset, this is going to be what people that are coming in once this is a video on demand after the live stream is complete. This particular part is going to be the entry point of this video. So people are going to come in and this is going to be the first part that they experience. So because of that, you want to make sure that you're just being very intentional about exactly what it is that you're saying and how it relates to the content that you're going to be presenting in the live stream. And then from there, once the live stream is complete, then of course, you know, you would go into YouTube's editor. You'll lose the live chat here, but it's fine. You would go into the YouTube's editor and then you would cut it right before you say, like in between, I should say, like, so you say, hey, if you're just joining us, and then pause for that second. Today we're talking about blah, or today we're doing, you know, this. Right before you say today, you would cut that. And then right there, when somebody comes in, after you save it, when somebody comes in on the video on demand, as soon as they come in, it's going to be a different experience because they're going to get, today we're doing this. And then you're going to get right into the content without all the extra, you know, fluff that goes along with, you know, entry stuff on a live stream. So because of that, think about the structure, and also you will get, you know, replay retention as well. So because of that, you can go in, you can be like, hey, this is kind of where people are falling off here, and you can use that as a way to craft the streams in a better way in the future as well. But, you know, you want to make sure that when you are doing the live stream, if you are doing the live stream for the sake of the experience, but also that you're trying to win on the replay as well, you want to make sure that you're considering the time limit. You also want to make sure that you are, you know, really putting things together as, you know, concisely as you possibly can as you're going through it, because the viewer, which is the thing that we always got to think about, right? The viewer is going to be experiencing it as a VOD. So the best that you can put it together live to where it's going to create that similar experience for them, to where it's going to feel like a VOD, to where, you know, it's going to be a linear thing instead of it, you know, kind of going through and then having all these like little hiccups here and there and things like that, where, you know, maybe you're kind of shuffling around or these big moments of silence or whatever it happens to be. You want to make sure all of that stuff is taken care of in order to create just like a nice, you know, easy flow through that replay. Hopefully that makes sense. Next up on our list here, we've got... Hold on, I'm waiting for my page to load here. Okay, there we go. So next up, we've got Mr. Snackosaurus. Love your channel name. Makes me want to go grab a snack. Says that the question is, I can't get people to watch my videos. The type of channel is food and travel reviews. The question, or the goal, is to educate people on fun food and travel and get monetized. The question is, I'm doing everything I was told. I'm slowly gaining followers, but they're only watching for 2 minutes and then drop off. I get views by paying for the built-in YouTube promotions. I need someone to do a hard review of what I'm doing wrong and why I'm fighting for views. Okay. So just so you know, when you use YouTube's paid promotion feature, they're going to show your videos to people, and, you know, people are going to come in and they're going to watch your videos. But keep in mind, when it comes to, you know, people continuing to watch videos on your channel, for that, you know, you still have to learn how to organically get people to respond to what it is that you're doing. So the same problem that you're having is the same problem that people have when they try to shortcut organic YouTube growth with running ads on their videos. They try to do that so that they can get followers faster. But then as soon as they turn off ad spend, the channel grinds to a screeching halt because they skipped a step, right? So when it comes to YouTube, you have to learn how to get organic activity on your videos first. And the reason for that is because any money that you spend to bring attention to yourself in marketing in any capacity on your YouTube channel, if you can't grab somebody's attention organically, then you are going to 100% all of the time be dependent on ad spend in order to get people just to interact with your videos. And if you're not doing something that you're making a lot of money from each video that you publish that you're running ads on, then what you're doing is you're just driving yourself into a financial hole by just dumping this money. I won't say a financial hole, but you're basically, you know, just taking an L, right? You're taking a loss by just continually dumping money into this thing that people are just coming in and just watching your videos. Like, why would you spend money for people just to watch your videos if you're not going to be making some type of return on the back end, right? So because of that, I just recommend that that you work on, getting the organic skills in place, and that you learn how to get that organic response. And it can take time, right? Some people, they'll be able to hit the ground running just because they'll have a more natural understanding based on their life experience that was before YouTube. Other people, they'll hit YouTube, never done anything like this before, and it's going to take them, some of them, it's going to take them a little bit more time to, get up and running. But the idea I'm trying to express is, if you are, trying to only use the promotions in order to get your views on your content, but you're not focused really hard on the organic side, then it's probably going to be a hard road for you, down the road. But if you're like, hey, I'm gonna learn how to write better titles, I'm gonna learn how to make good videos that people respond to, and I'm gonna use YouTube analytics to get a better understanding of how people are responding to what it is that I'm doing, so that I can look for problem areas and fix them. Then in that particular case, like you have to do that if you want to, learn how to grow organically on the platform. If not, then you're just going to end up spending a ton of money, and it's never going to go anywhere. Because just spending money on YouTube isn't it's not the path, right? That's the way to lose a bunch of money, but it's not the path to having a successful YouTube channel. Next up on our list here, we've got All Four Roses. They have a rose channel. Oh, that's cool. The goal of the channel is to share roses and information about roses. The question is, how do I have more consistent views across multiple videos on my channel? That's all going to come down to how people respond to your content. So what you want to do is you want to look for content in your channel that typically performs well, and then go in and analyze the heck out of that content, and then do the same exact thing on the content that doesn't perform well, and start looking for the differences between the two. Look at how you're editing, look for the music that you're using for the music choices if you're using music. Look for, like maybe one you're using music in, the other one you're not, and people are responding to the one that you're not using music in better, or vice versa. Maybe, one, your voice is coming through nice and clear, where the other one, maybe it's like a little bit low or a little bit muffled. Maybe, the topic of the video itself on one isn't as good as the topic of the other one in terms of the things that your audience is actually interested in, those types of things. This is where using YouTube's research tab can be really helpful as well, especially, if you're trying to understand your audience, you're trying to understand what the people who are interested in your content are interested in. When you use the research tab inside of your YouTube channel, YouTube provides this for us. It shows you videos that your people are watching. It shows you, things that people are searching for around your content and things like that, so that you can make content that, that gives them what it is that they, are looking for. So, make sure that you are, analyzing your own content for what's working and what isn't, because that's the path to, get things better. And then of course, you have like the core things, like just topically, right? Like, okay, if you're making videos about roses, like, what are you offering in those videos, right? Like, what are you offering? And at scale, like, 10 people or 100 people or 1,000 people, that's one thing. But at scale, for what it is that you're offering, like what type of market do you have for, the type of content that you're putting out? So it looks like here that you have like a 7-minute video that's just showing like, it's just like a slideshow of flowers. And I think that's all it is, actually. Hold on. I'm actually clicking on this one here. Yeah, so these are just photos. It's a photo slideshow of roses. So this is okay, but just remember, like, YouTube is a video platform, so a slideshow is technically a video. But if somebody wants to sit there and look at pictures, they're going to do that more so in like a blog or Pinterest or Google Images or something like that. So because of that, I would just encourage you to try to make some videos. Make videos, or do videos that are, something that's a little bit to where somebody watches it. They're like, oh yeah, this is cool. I want to kind of see how this turns. Oh, you do have some videos on the channel. So I see one here that's 33 seconds long. So another tip that I have for you is, if you're going to make short videos like that, instead of uploading them as a long form piece of content, upload it as a short, because then that way it's at least going to just show up in front of people to where then, they can watch it there. Okay, yeah, I see some of these have videos, so I stand corrected on the video side. But yeah, I would definitely, work on all of those things. Like, for example, you say June is Rose Month, unknown white. So what you have to think about is, if this were to show up on somebody's homepage, right? And this is what you're doing isn't wrong. It's just that, you haven't done it enough yet. But like when this shows up on somebody's homepage, you have to think to yourself, like, okay, what about this would make somebody be like, oh, I need to watch this video. Right. And if you're like, okay, well, there's nothing really about this, and I need to, where they would need to watch this video, then in that case, you have to go over to the next thing. Like, okay, why would somebody click on this? Why would somebody find this interesting? And if you can't find that, then you have to either work on the video until you can find that, or keep working on different ways that you might be able to make it interesting, from the outside, and the video content as well, so that when people do see it, there's actually a reason for them to come in and look at what it is that you have. I think that what you're doing is cool because you're showing all these different, flowers and stuff, and you're kind of highlighting them. But one thing to do, to consider, if you're not doing it already, is to make sure that maybe, if you're not already, maybe you're like identifying the roses, you're talking about all kinds of different facts about them or something like that, to add like an additional layer of value to what it is that you're offering, instead of just like, photos or very short videos about them. Brown Girl Peace Lounge. I would hit the button over there, but D is away for a second. Thank you for the super chat. It says, hey, Nick, I noticed my watch hours have been declining rapidly. Is it possible that YouTube is confused because I'm both the only person using my IP address? Please help. So if your watch hours are declining, what's happening is the hours that you had over a year ago. So basically your watch hours, well, if you're talking about monetization, here, let me actually look at your channel here real quick. I think you're monetized already. Oh, no, you're not. So you're trying to get towards monetization. So probably what you're looking at is you're looking for the, for that, the meter to say how close you are getting to being monetized. So remember that watch time for the qualification to get into the YouTube Partner Program, it's rolling. So what that means is 365 days ago, if you had a video on your YouTube channel and that video collected watch time, that watch time is going to be falling off today. But it's going to be getting replaced by the watch time that you from anybody interacting with your channel today. And basically that happens every single day. So because of that, let's say you had one video that ends up doing well in your YouTube channel, because what you're dealing with is a real common thing. Let's say you have one video that you put out on your YouTube channel and it did great and it brought in a lot of watch time, and then it falls off. It's like, oh no, right? Like I just had this huge chunk of watch time, fall off in terms of how it relates to me getting into the partner program. So because of that, just keep in mind that, that's definitely a thing. And since that's a thing, it's just something that you have to be like, hey, I got all this watch time falling off, which means I got to make sure that the content I'm putting out is extra great, so that I can make sure that that I'm kind of building up that watch time to match those to meet those requirements. Oh, you're not the only person using your YouTube channel. That's fine. That's okay. Like multiple people can use the YouTube channel. It's fine. But in terms of how that's going to impact you as a creator, it's not. So like if you are, your watch time is only related to the videos that you're publishing on your channel. It's not related to how you or someone else in your house or on another device or whatever. It's not related to how they are interacting with YouTube and watching other videos. Let's see here. Next up on our list, we are number 32 already. This is great. So Yarning for a Smile is our next channel. They upload one time per week or more. They do fiber arts. The goal of the channel is the expression of passion through fiber arts, community, and a little financial gain to help with materials needed for content. The question is, as far as live, should thumbnails be on brand with others, or should they be more on their own? Or have you noticed a huge difference? For me, I've noticed minor differences in like thumbnail changes, topic differences or title differences. Definitely a difference. Like if I frame everything around like the show, then in that case, the response is usually lesser. And I learned this a long time ago. The response is usually lesser than if I frame it around the value that the viewers are going to get out of it. So that can cause an impact. But basically thinking just topically, what's this live stream going to be about? So for example, if you were to frame your live stream around like, hey, it's Sunday, we're just going to do like a hangout, like today's Sunday hangout, right? Then in that particular case, that's going to be a different response or get a different response. Excuse me. That's going to cause a different response than in your case, if you're like, today we are talking about, you frame the whole thing around, something related to fiber arts, because then if you frame it around fiber arts, then of course people interested in fiber arts are qualified to watch that video when they see it, being recommended to them. Whereas if you frame it around like, hey, Sunday hangout, in that particular case, because a lot of live streamers do that, in that particular case, then, there's no real clear value of what somebody might actually, be getting from that stream. And it can cause, people to not respond as well that are new viewers. So you want to just make sure that it's clear from the outside. In terms of branding, make sure that you focus the most on effectiveness. So just test a bunch of different stuff and then lean on what's the most effective, regardless if it's on brand or not from the outside. So a lot of people will commit to color schemes and templates and, certain styles with what it is that they're doing because they want everything to look good on their channel page. But, keep in mind that when it comes to YouTube, everything is being, presented independently to most of the viewers on the platform, unless they're interacting with your channel page, which is going to be the least amount of people. So because of that, you just want to make sure that that you're putting your thumbnails together, that you're leaning on effectiveness more than just trying to make everything match everything else that you're doing. Branding is important, has its place in YouTube, but as it relates to thumbnails specifically, I would just lean most on effectiveness over everything. Next up, we've got Moon Daily Horoscope. They do daily content. The type of channel is astrology and horoscope content. The goal of the channel is astrology and horoscope business and building community. The question, what do you think about astrology horoscope topic? We're having some hard time. They are made day for day, 200 impressions with 8% click-through and 80% watch time. Whenever YouTube pushes a year-old video and people don't click, it hurts us a lot. Any advice? So YouTube only pushes old videos to people if people are responding well to old videos. So if people are responding well to old videos, then YouTube has detected that people are actually enjoying those old videos. So it might hurt in terms of people being like, hey, this isn't current, but people are enjoying those old videos or YouTube wouldn't be showing them to people. Because that's kind of how it works. If the people are satisfied and enjoying the content, YouTube will show it to more people. If they're not, then it'll get less. But you say here, that you are having a hard time, and what do I think about the astrology horoscope topic? I'm kind of divided on it because, when it comes to that, you kind of live and die by daily horoscopes and, things like that. And that type of content only has a certain, shelf life in terms of okay, if I'm somebody that's into horoscopes, then if I'm watching, a channel for my daily horoscopes and I miss a week, I'm not going to go back and watch, the other videos that were put up that week ago that I missed, because none of that is relevant to me anymore. I would just be, checking back in for my daily horoscope again. So because of that, you do have those challenges. So I would definitely try to come up with an additional pillar of content that would be evergreen in nature to help you actually grow the channel. So for example, explaining, the different star signs, explaining astrology, explaining all the differences and nuance in astrology to help people, better understanding what it is that you're doing and to help, more people get interested in it and all that. I would go that route for a nice chunk of content while you're also doing the daily horoscopes, for the sake of, making sure that you are giving yourself that opportunity to create a nice, set of videos that can drive you relevant traffic that that's watching content that essentially won't age. So it'll age in terms of the length on platform, but it won't age in terms of the information, because as it relates to astrology, when you're explaining the concepts of astrology, in that particular case, that video that you make today, people are still going to be able to watch that 5 years from now, and it's still going to be 100% exactly the same information as today. So that's what evergreen means, is that you can make something today and it'll be good, into the very far future, or in some cases forever.
What are you, Neil deGrasse Tyson now?
Yeah, I am. We're talking about.
I come back. You're talking about astrology.
Yeah, we're talking about astrology. Yeah, we're while you were gone.
Yeah.
Me and everybody here, we're actually we're building a spaceship and we're getting out of here. So you down or what?
Come on, I would have been down. If you would have asked me at age 5.
Yeah, you're like, yep.
Let's go.
Yeah, Elon Musk put out a thing saying would you go to Mars for $1,000 a ticket? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I would actually.
Even with shoddy technology right now, to where it's I don't know, I'm kind of going into space. It's kind of weird. Probably going to come back with some weird stuff. Yeah, still going.
So I've been watching 65.
Would you go to space? Would you go to Mars? Just a return trip, and it was a round trip ticket
For $1,000?
$1,000.
I wouldn't even hesitate.
Yeah, right. It'd be like, hey, dude, I bought you a ticket. Just a heads up, we're going to Mars. Yeah, it'd be like that.
We're going to Mars tomorrow.
Right. Yeah. Cool. On my way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you go to Mars for $1,000 round trip ticket? Would you go to Mars?
That's insane.
Say yes or no.
You know what? I would go to Mars. I would do like a space hotel. I know there's a company that's trying to build like a hotel.
The floaty one?
It's supposed to like orbit the Earth, a space hotel. Yeah, I would go to that. Yeah, man, you know me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hesitate to do that stuff.
Totally.
I wouldn't do a one-way trip to Mars, and not unless I did. If I was the only person left, God forbid something happened to you and something happened to my girlfriend or whatever, and I was just, like, if I was just the only person left, and they're like one-way ticket to Mars, sign me up.
No.
That would be the caveat to that. Yeah. Otherwise, I'd go to space in a second flat.
Sure. Totally.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Burn the boats.
Burn them. So we got a super chat here from Heroes TV Japan. Says, I do cut out videos of K-pop. Is it true that you have to put artist name with fan channel, but mine is multiple artists, so K-pop fan channel will work? That's a pretty nuanced question. If Renee's still in here, he might be able to give you a better answer. But when it comes to the fan channels, you do have to disclose that now in the actual channel name itself, so that people know they're not watching the actual artist channel or the actual channel that you're a fan of. So you do have to put the fan channel in there as a disclosure thing now. So when you are talking about different artists, I'm not sure if putting K-pop fan channel would be the right thing or not. So because of that, I would actually send. I would actually reach out to like Team YouTube on Twitter. If you have a Twitter account, just at Team YouTube and ask them that same question, because that's a pretty nuanced question. And the same thing would apply to anybody. If you're like, hey, I'm doing like a rock and roll fan channel, then in that case, like, what do you put for the actual channel name if you're going to be covering a lot of bands, right? It's the same exact thing. So yeah, I would actually reach out to Team YouTube on that one, because that's a pretty nuanced question, and I really don't know the answer to that.
I would say reach out to YouTube's Creatorly Zone about that and let him dig into it, because I love Team YouTube on Twitter, but
he has a thing though in his Twitter that says if you haven't reached out to them first, reach out to them first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So reach out to them first, then maybe reach out to him for a second opinion, because I've seen them answer some things where you're like, are you sure? And it could just be because they didn't understand the question, right? If it was phrased in a way they didn't understand it. So just get a second opinion on something like that. That's what I'm trying to say.
Next up, we've got the DBZ Collector. Hope you're doing awesome. Does Dragon Ball figure channel review channel. The goal of the channel is to help Dragon Ball fans build a figure collection. And the question is, if you change something on your channel that can give you better results, how long after you change it can you expect to see the results, so that you know whether or not you changed the right thing? In some cases, you can see things immediately. If you're doing like a channel pivot or something like that, then you have to watch it over time, like say, like 60 days, 90 days, that kind of stuff. But if you are, like let's say you update a thumbnail, you can wake up tomorrow and that video could be going to the moon. You could also wake up tomorrow and that video completely died.
And you didn't have any more views.
Right. It just zeroed out because whatever change you made, people, just didn't respond well to it. So it can go in either direction, or it can just stay the same. So, if you make a change and there's a big difference in response, you can see it right away.
So this one's funny. Somebody just mentioned that, who was it? Illegal Minded Friends. Karen says, I would go to Mars, but only if waiting for customs doesn't have a long line like the queues for UK people.
Hey, so, I love that.
I want to say this. In terms of traveling and immigration and customs, sometimes immigration can be a headache if a bunch of planes arrive at the same time. But just overall customs, I've never moved as quickly as traveling through Asia, generally speaking. Asian efficiency when it comes to getting through customs is...
It's great.
It's the gold standard. And whenever we have to fly home to like the U.S. or something like that, I'm just like, oh my God, I don't want to do this.
Right.
It's like it's a miserable experience flying into the U.S.
It is.
And then you come back, you fly right through Asia, and it's just
just like
every now and then there's like a because there'll be tons of planes flying in all at once and immigration, but they're fast.
Yeah, they're efficient.
They're efficient. Yeah,
they're efficient.
Ridiculously efficient.
Our Oki Homestead says YouTube wouldn't let me download music from Creator Mix without paying for YouTube Premium or doing the free trial. So you don't download Creator Mix music from YouTube. You download it from creatormix.com. That's the website.
Hold on.
So you just go over there and you create a free account. They're probably trying to save it because if you have like YouTube Music, then you can like save music and all that stuff.
Yeah. You need to go
so that's what they were trying to do.
Website.
Yeah, you have to go. Yeah, you have to go to the website to download music if you're going to use it in your videos.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you have a problem, because sometimes we have problems with like Hotmail email addresses and Yahoo. But if you sign up and it's not in your spam box and you don't get it, send me a message.
Yeah, I just put a graphic on the screen with the web address right there in green. Creatormix.com is what you want for that.
Yeah.
So next up on our list here, we did DBZ Collector. So next up, we've got, let's see, we've got Anonymous. They do education. The goal of the channel is anonymous. It says, if you have 500 subscribers, how many views should a video get in a YouTube short? There isn't a rule. So the amount that it should get is based on how much people enjoy it. So if people really enjoy it at scale, then it should get a lot of views. If people don't enjoy it that much, then it shouldn't get that many views.
Monique says she's not looking forward to flying into the U.S. next month.
Yeah.
Hopefully they won't send my luggage to JFK.
Yeah. Yeah, when I go to the States, like I'm going for a Vid Summit this year, when I go to the States, like the thing that I look the least forward to is when I touch down over there and going through like that line and immigration and like all of the...
It's a nightmare.
Yeah, it's a mess. And then from there, the next thing that I loathe is any other flights that I have to take while I'm there. And then the flight coming back.
Yeah, so I'm just
not the flight, just the getting onto the flight on the way back. So those are the things I would rather sit in the airplane for the like 18-hour flight or whatever than go through the immigration. Not immigration, but just the whole like security checkpoints and like, all that stuff. It's so inefficient and just a mess. And they're also like power trip.
They're rude. They're very rude. Yeah, let me say this.
Can't speak for everybody, but just my experience.
If the only place you've ever flown is in the United States, I can tell you with absolute certainty, you have some of the most inefficient airports, the rudest TSA agent. It's a mess.
Yeah,
American airports are a mess. Latin America is not much better. Parts of Europe are okay, but man, Asian when you travel around Asia, and then you go back to like a Western country,
it really stands out.
You're just like, holy, like what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
What are
Who's
you
in
doing?
charge of this?
Really? Like, how do y'all have your jobs still?
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Yeah, nuts.
Absolutely crazy.
Weird topic there, but
I know we kind of went like a whole thing there.
It's like trauma. Right?
Yeah,
I have trauma when I think about traveling back to the U.S.
Totally.
It's a nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah, Doug says, does it depend on where you land? Always come through in LAX.
It can. Yeah, it can. Sometimes LAX moves faster. Some airports are really, really bad. I've had some really bad experiences at LAX.
You know what I think is interesting?
Yeah.
Is, because everybody talks about like freedom in America, right?
Yeah,
freedom.
Yeah.
It's funny that a TSA agent who isn't even like a real like police officer or whatever.
The TSA is a mess.
In LAX, they have a sign that if you are verbally abusive, you can verbally abuse police officers, but if you are verbally abusive towards a TSA agent, you can get thrown in jail.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But if a TSA agent like gives me a hard time, nothing's going to happen to them. Like if they misunderstand something or if they are like power tripping too hard, nobody cares. But if I get, abrasive in return, then I'm risking like jail time. It's such a mess.
Just a little bit of story. We're going to sidetrack because I'm
so like, broken over there.
So I went a while ago. I went and visited my friend in Hawaii, and we went out surfing. And I stepped on some coral, and the bottoms of my feet were shredded.
I remember that.
Yeah, the bottoms of my feet were shredded, and when I had to fly out, going to the airport there, my feet were bandaged, and they were like, take your shoes off. We got to check your. I was like, I'm injured. And they were so rude, and they like wanted to look into my bandages, and I wouldn't do it because I didn't want to. It turned into a huge ordeal. I almost got arrested over it.
I'm not surprised.
I almost got arrested over it. I'm like, dude, I'm injured.
So one thing I just want to let everybody know this really quick. So when it comes to D, if there is any bump into with authority in any capacity, good chance D's getting hauled away. Like, I can't say the amount of time that like growing up, you like we're just like driving around and then, we get pulled over for, like speeding or something like that, or something that, that I was doing, but D happens to be in the car. Like I'm driving, they're giving me a hard time. D's in the car and then they're saying things to D, but D like, one of the things that he likes to do is just be knowledgeable on a bunch of stuff. So because of that, he is up to date on like, like their rights as an officer and the things they can and cannot do. And before like YouTube, D was one of those guys that the officers like, you know, get out of the car, and D's like, am I being detained? And they hated it, absolutely hated it. So because of that, like anytime we'd get pulled over for like a traffic violation, or if we're just out at night and they pull us over just to give us a hard time, whatever, then, you know, like it would always be a situation where D would at least spend a few minutes in the back of the cop car where they're like running his information, all that stuff. Like he's definitely anti-authority.
Well, it's not that I'm anti-authority. I'm anti-abusive authority.
Oh, that's good.
There's a big difference.
Totally.
I'm 100%.
Yep, 100%. Yep.
I fully respect authority.
Totally.
I fully respect authority. Yeah. I am anti-abusive authority.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I mean, everybody gets. Look, man, you've been with me. If they're cool, like, hey, I'm cool right back. But as soon as they cross that line and start, you know, abusing and being abusive, and they're not being polite at all. You know.
So on that note, hope everybody has a fantastic rest of your weekend. So just a heads up for, you know, those of you that are new to YouTube, you know, we talk about a lot of stuff here during the live stream. And, you know, sometimes, you know, it can seem like, you know, there's like this huge mountain to climb. So YouTube, you know, it is hard. There's challenges. There are skills that you got to learn along the way and stuff like that. But just look at it like a process. And if you look at it like a process, then, you know, you will be able to get through that process, and just take it a step at a time and try to learn as much as you can. Try to apply. Like a lot of people will hang out in these streams and they'll listen to stuff. But, you know, when you look at their channels, it's clear that they're not applying it. The only way that any of this information is actually going to help you if you start is if you actually start applying it to your YouTube channel, and you start experimenting, you start trying, you know, different things with what it is that you're doing, and you get your best practices in line, you know, all those types of things. So you just want to make sure that you are, you know, taking those actions in order to improve. If you're one of the people here that are watching that are wanting to turn your YouTube channel into something, then in that case, just make sure that you are taking action on it, that you are taking the knowledge that you learn, and that you apply it to what it is that you're doing. I forgot today actually to mention TubeSpanner and their notepad tool, and how you should be taking notes with TubeSpanner, in addition to all the other, you know, great tools that they have inside TubeSpanner. I got links to that in the description as well as everything else. But the whole idea is, you know, this whole thing is just like a learning process. So, you know, the more you learn and the better you get at making content and understanding your viewers and understanding the platform and all that, the better that you'll do, as long as you put the effort in, you know, behind all of that knowledge. So, so just make sure that you know, take notes on anything that stood out to you today. Just write it down now, and then, you know, when you're working on your videos and all that stuff, or when you get a chance, go in and start, you know, trying to, you know, figure things out. So on that note, thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out. D, awesome stream today. As always, this one went by pretty fast.
Thanks for bringing up the memories of wrecking my cars. Christina Smallhorn says Nick is a car wrecker.
Yeah, I am. That's, you know, it's what they call me, old car wrecker. Yeah. So, yeah. So, also, again, just so everybody, you know, just to help you remember, you know, the conference we were talking about earlier is called Vid Summit. That's going to be happening in October. So, I'm going to be there, and I'm speaking there. But, you know, I would be there regardless. But I'm speaking there, and I invite you to come, you know, hang out. You'll learn a ton. There's a lot of content creators there sharing just all kinds of amazing information. It's always a game changer for people that go there. So, so make sure that you at least check out the information on it at vidsummit.com, so you can see, you know, what's available, who's going to be there, all that good stuff. And on that note, have an amazing rest of your weekend. Stay safe out there, and we will see you next time.